Chapter 94. No wonder Tianjin Chamber of Commerce had brought this many guards. This so-called business negotiation had an ulterior motive from the beginning. Such a strong killing intent. Chu Tian leisurely sipped his tea, as if he was very calm. He looked at the hundreds of Tianjin Chamber of Commerce guards as if they were nothing. Your Excellency is very confident. Are you sure that Tianjin Chamber of Commerce is stronger than Miracle Commerce? I don't think it is. These words came out. Jing Xian and Jing Hao were speechless. This kind of words was simply a joke. This Chu Tian must be a frog at the bottom of a well. How strong could a family be in a place like South Sky City? A newly established company, what kind of experts could they have? Why don't we have a spar? Chu Tian put down the teacup and gently tapped the table. You can pick the people I brought. As long as you can beat any one of them, I'll accept your conditions. Otherwise, I'll use my own methods. You're tired of living. The guards of Tianjin Chamber of Commerce are all old soldiers and mercenaries. Each one of them is the elite of the elite. What do you have to compete with us? It doesn't matter who's strong and who's weak, you'll only know after fighting with real swords and spears. You won't shed a tear until you see the coffin. Then I'll help you. Jing Hao shouted. Jing Hu, the captain of the guards, Jing Hu, ran over. Please give your orders, young chairman. A few small city bumpkins don't have eyes and actually want to challenge Tianjin Chamber of Commerce. What do you think we should do? This lowly officer will give them a lesson. Go, there's no need to be lenient. Yes. Jing Hu swaggered over and looked at Chu Tian with ridicule in his eyes. Then he swept his eyes over the people he brought. 18 black-robed people stood there, not releasing a single bit of aura. Their chests did not move at all, as if they did not need to breathe. They were simply like 18 pieces of stone. It was really strange. The feeling they gave off was basically the same. It was impossible to tell who was stronger and who was weaker. Jing Hu did not know who to choose, but he was not afraid. As the vice-chairman's personal guard, he had the strength of a first awakened soul layer cultivator. He did not believe that a guard from a small company in a small city would be able to compete with him. Are you guys going to come one by one or all at once? Jing Hu proudly drew out the saber on his waist and shouted, let the strongest one come out first. Our time is precious. Let's finish him off quickly. Chu Tian's lips curled into a smile. Why would I need to dispatch my strongest bodyguard to deal with you? The weakest one is enough. There was no warning. The bell rang softly. A black-robed man suddenly shot out from behind. It was too sudden and too strange. There were no elemental energy undulations, and it was as if there were springs installed on the soles of his feet. The black-clothed man charged forward at high speed, his body remaining motionless. At first glance, it seemed as if he was moving at an unbelievable speed. A black mist was rapidly spouted out from his body, and a terrifying and powerful aura immediately enveloped the surroundings. Jing Hu was shocked. This. How could this be? In his panic, he sent out a sharp saber light. Fear. The black-clothed man sent out a palm strike and the terrifying strength sent the saber flying. It stabbed into the wall and the saber began to hum and tremble. Black-ean corpses, impenetrable, hard as iron. Jing Hu's brain did not even have time to react. He could only watch as the black-clothed man's hands gathered a large amount of black mist. His entire palm turned pitch black and was filled with a strong death aura. It was filled with a fierce aura as it charged forward. This is bad. Jing Hu braced himself and waved his palm to block it. The surging strength spread out and the surrounding tables and chairs were all shattered. Ah! Jing Hu spat out a mouthful of blood as he smashed into a wall. His body was covered in a black aura as he fainted on the spot. One strike. The black-clothed man only used one strike. Jing Hu was the personal guard of the Tianjin Chamber of Commerce's vice-chairman. He couldn't even block a single palm from this black-clothed man. After the black-clothed man took care of Jing Hu, he immediately returned to Chu Tian's side. He did not say a single word from beginning to end. He was like a statue that stood firm, as if he had not made a move at all. Truly disappointing. Chu Tian's eyes gradually turned ice-cold, as sharp as an eagle's. With this bit of dog-shit strength, you dare to speak nonsense in front of father. With this bit of dog-shit strength, you dare to threaten father. Who is the one that is tired of living? Chu Tian seemed like he had changed into a different person. That terrifying aura was released like a tsunami, making the two of them feel a chill in their hearts. Defeating Jing Hu with a single palm, there was no suspense at all. This black-clothed man was at least at the second awakened soul layer. The 18 black-clothed people, whether it was their aura or their clothes, they were all the same. Could it be? These 18 people were all awakened soul cultivators. Jing Xian broke out in a cold sweat. They wouldn't have kicked an iron plate this time, right? Was this group of monsters something they could provoke? No. Absolutely not. With 18 awakened soul cultivators as personal guards, even a main city's mayor would not be able to do this. Chu Tian was just the founder of a small city's company. How could he win over this many experts? Such a vicious and evil palm technique. Jing Hao angrily stood up. Martial artists should fight fair and square, but you actually used poison to harm Jing Hu. This is simply shameless and despicable to the extreme. This result, I won't accept it. Chu Tian coldly said, there are countless martial arts in the world. Who said that a poisonous palm technique is a despicable technique? Acting like a fool after losing, is this the attitude of the Tianjin Chamber of Commerce? This match doesn't count. If you have the skills, then let's have another match. Meng Qinggu angrily said, a loss is a loss, you're publicly going back on your words. Why would Miracle Commerce be afraid of a challenge? If they want to compete again, then we'll give them another chance. Chu Tian was not afraid at all. How do you want to challenge me this time? I'll personally do it. Jing Hao's eyes flashed with a sinister light. I ask young Miss Meng Qinggu to fight with me. Meng Qinggu was a woman and she had been in charge of the company for a long time at such a young age. This kind of person clearly did not have a strong strength. Meng Qinggu's expression changed. You. What? A certain person has personally said that the people he brought can be casually challenged. Jing Hao took the initiative and interrupted Meng Qinggu. The guards are people he brought, but isn't young Miss Meng Qinggu one as well? Jing Hao seized the loophole in Chu Tian's words to make things difficult for Miracle Commerce. Ha, 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 young Master Jing Hao's ability to judge the situation is truly a businessman's talent for shamelessness. This is something that Chu Tian admires. Jing Hao's face turned cold. If you're afraid, then obediently sign the contract. Otherwise, a beauty like young Miss Meng Qinggu will be injured. Remember this. My Miracle Commerce does not have trash and does not have a pretty face. Chu Tian did not buy this. Since he's sincerely challenging me, young Miss should properly teach him a lesson. Meng Qinggu's face was filled with hesitation. I don't have any battle experience. When Jing Hao heard this, he was overjoyed. That would be for the best. Jing Hao was a bit weaker than Jing Hu, but he was still at the peak 9th body refinement layer. Chu Tian encouraged the young miss, I believe in you. Go and give it a try. Jing Hao looked at Meng Qinggu's beautiful figure and his heart was filled with pride. She's just a young girl that grew up in a small city, how could I not be able to deal with her? If Meng Qinggu really was strong, then her name would have already spread throughout Central State. But in South Sky City, she had always been bullied, so how could she be strong? This match was already won. Young Miss Meng, be careful. Jing Hao pulled out a short sword and stabbed forward. Countless starlight seeped out and surrounded her body. When the short sword touched it, it bounced back with a ding sound. Jing Hao staggered back a few steps. Looking at Meng Qinggu who was covered in light, he revealed a look of surprise, such a strong defense. Jing Hao and his nephew could see that Meng Qingwu's cultivation base was higher than they had imagined. It was almost on par with Jing Hao, and she also practiced a strong defensive cultivation technique. How could this girl be this strong? This was impossible. It didn't make sense. Today was really strange. Chu Tian lightly said, I've said before, Miracle Commerce does not have trash and does not have a pretty face. Our young miss is the vice chairman, a peerless beauty that will shine for thousands of years. How could a random dog or cat compare to her? Random dog or cat? You actually called me a random dog or cat. Jing Hao angrily roared out a few times and slashed out several times. Dang, 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 dang. Without exception, they were all bounced back. There was not a single weak spot on Meng Qingwu's body. No matter how Jing Hao attacked, it was useless. On Meng Qingwu's gentle face, she couldn't help revealing a smile. Her heart was filled with joy. She didn't even know that she had become this strong. Meng Qingwu had a hidden injury since she was a child. Whenever she used spirit energy, it would be hard to endure the pain. At that time, not to mention fighting, every night, her meridians would hurt and she wouldn't be able to sleep. But now, Meng Qingwu wasn't as abnormal as Chu Tian or Nan Gongyun, who could jump levels like drinking water, but she could still sweep over 90% of geniuses at the same level. All of this. It was like a dream. I say, young miss, are you a blockhead? Chu Tian drank a mouthful of tea and impatiently shouted, why don't you fight back? Meng Qingwu panicked, but I don't know how to fight. His lower body isn't stable. Kick. Meng Qingwu reflexively kicked out, hitting his crotch. Ah! Jing Hao's face turned green as he was kicked to the ground. The little fox excitedly clapped with its claws. Chu Tian also began to laugh, ha, ha. Beautiful. What a good move to cut off one's descendants, it's just lacking a bit of strength. How were the man and beast watching a match? They were just watching a play. Jing Hao's eyes popped out as he angrily roared, you're going too far. Chu Tian loudly shouted, punch his face with your right hand. Meng Qingwu was like a puppet, being completely controlled by Chu Tian. She immediately sent a punch at Jing Hao's face. Jing Hao charged over at this time, making people feel like he was delivering his own face. Pang! Blood flew out from his nose. Jing Hao once again fell to the ground. You can't. You can't. Chu Tian was like a strict teacher, how can you be so stupid? Your method of exerting strength is very scattered. You have to combine your body and essence energy, connecting your internal and external energy together to release your strongest strength. Do it again. Even a fool could see it. Meng Qingwu was clearly a person without any battle experience. But this person without any battle experience, under Chu Tian's guidance, was becoming more and more proficient. The more they fought, the easier it became for Jing Hao to fight back. Incredible. Unimaginable. Not only could Chu Tian give Meng Qingwu proper guidance, he could also easily see through Jing Hao's weaknesses. He was able to make a person without any battle experience beat Jing Hao to the point where he couldn't fight back. Was this a person or a ghost? Jing Xian felt a chill run down his spine. No matter how strong Chu Tian was, his eyes were at least at the level of a great master. No. If this continued, Jing Hao would lose without a doubt. He quickly stood up, Hao, don't lose your mind. Use the frost sword to deal with him. Jing Hao was already confused from his anger. This girl was clearly a novice without any battle experience, but she was able to force him to this point. He had suffered at least 8-9 punches and his face was swollen like a pig's head. Enough. A short sword had large amounts of glowing runes on it. This was clearly a very strong spirit weapon. A cold frost spread out, covering the surrounding area in a layer of frost. So what if your defense is strong? Jing Hao's bruised face was filled with a fierce expression. He held the cold sword in his hand. Once my frost sword hits you, you will instantly turn into an ice sculpture. I want to see how you'll fight against me. Meng Qingwu's heart turned cold. Jing Hao still had a hidden card. This sword was not simple. How should she deal with it? Chapter 95. The frost sword released a stronger and stronger energy. Jing Hao's face was filled with ruthlessness. Meng Qingwu, don't be so stubborn. If you're willing to follow me, I'll keep your shares and let you continue being the vice chairman. Otherwise, don't blame me for destroying a flower. Meng Qingwu was as cold as ice. Even if I die, I won't submit to a person like you. Young miss, well said. Chu Tian lightly said, but you have to believe in yourself. You're much stronger than him. This level of attack is nothing. Alright, don't waste any more time. Directly kill him. Really? I'm really stronger than him. Meng Qingwu's strength had increased too quickly recently, so she lacked a clear understanding of herself. She didn't even know how strong she was. Chu Tian would not lie to me. If he says I'm stronger than him, then I'm definitely stronger than him. Meng Qingwu's serious expression disappeared and was replaced with a relaxed and disdainful look. The change in Meng Qingwu's expression made Jing Hao feel like he was being looked down upon. His self-esteem had been completely destroyed and he could no longer hold it in as he angrily roared, seeking death. I'll help you. The cold sword was ruthlessly thrust forward. Countless starlights spilled out and condensed together like glass. That bone-chilling cold air had no way of penetrating the glass defense. Chu Tian nodded his head in satisfaction seeing this. To be able to condense the glass body in such a short time, the young Miss Starlight immortal body was not bad. That strong starlight energy exploded. Pa! The short sword shattered on the spot. The ice energy lost its host and immediately counterattacked. No! Jing Hao's eyes opened wide and he shouted out in fear. He turned around to escape, but it was already too late. The ice energy bounced back and swallowed Jing Hao's body, turning him into an ice sculpture. Meng Qingwu was at the peak 9th body refinement layer like him. Moreover, because of the starlight immortal body, Jing Hao was not a match for Meng Qingwu at all. Even if he had a weapon advantage, it was the same. How, Jing Xian was shocked and knew that the situation was bad. These bastards are trying to kill the young chairman. Pa! The teacup fell to the ground. It was smashed into smithereens. This was Jing Xian's secret signal. As soon as the negotiations broke down, he would break the teacup. Then the people lying in ambush would immediately rush forward and capture Chu Tian alive before he could react. At this moment, it was impossible for negotiations to succeed, so they would use force to solve it. A total of 100 or 200 elite guards couldn't deal with these people. Jing Xian didn't believe it. When the secret signal of smashing the cup was sent out. So. Countless arrows were shot from all directions. Haha, you can't beat me one-on-one, so you use numbers to suppress me? Chu Tian picked up the bell and shook it gently. You really did something stupid. Let this group of true country bumpkins open their eyes and witness the true strength of my miracle commerce. The 18 black-clothed men swept out like a gust of wind. It was only for a moment. All the arrows were knocked down. The 18 figures turned into 18 afterimages and dashed out at a speed that was hard to see with the naked eye. The people from the Tianjin Chamber of Commerce were scared silly. No way. This isn't a fucking nightmare, right? The 18 black-clothed men were like tigers pouncing on their prey. They suddenly charged into the group of guards and the sound of bones breaking filled the air. Ah! Save me! I surrender, I surrender. Jing Xian had never seen this kind of scene before. He was so scared that he began to tremble and his old face revealed a terrified expression. The 18 black-clothed men all had the strength of an awakened soul cultivator and the weakest was at the second awakened soul layer. This move did not have any suspense at all. The large amount of elite guards that the Tianjin Chamber of Commerce had brought were instantly knocked to the ground. If they weren't dead, they were crippled as they cried out pitifully. They were all elites that the Tianjin Chamber of Commerce had spent a lot of money to train. If they were all wiped out, how could he explain this to the chairman? Stop. Jing Xian wanted to stand up. We're not talking anymore. Saying this, don't you think it's too late? An ice-cold sword swept over and gently pressed against his neck. Forcefully pressing down, he was forced back into his seat. Come, sit down and have a good talk. Chu Tian sat in his seat without moving. His right hand held the netherworld sword and placed it on the other side's shoulder. Don't blame me for not reminding you. If you move again, you won't be able to keep your dog head. Jing Xian's body stiffened like he was petrified. His face was covered in cold sweat as he said, This old man admits defeat. What do you want? Chu Tian gave Meng Qinggu a look. A heavy bag was thrown onto the table. Chu Tian opened the bag, 500 low-grade source stones. Not only do I want to buy the Meteor Grass Basin, I also want to buy all of your properties around Hidden Sound Town. Not a single strand of hair can be left. The bag was filled with crystal-clear low-grade source stones. Jing Xian was a bit stunned. Source stones. Source stones were a common currency in many parts of the continent. In a country like southern Xia, there were almost no source stone mines, so there were very few people who used source stones to do business. A low-grade source stone was worth at least 10,000 gold coins, but in the black market and the underground market, the price of source stones had doubled. Miracle Commerce was a company established in a small city. How did they have this many source stones? This was clearly not normal. This company was not simple. But, they wanted to buy all of Tianjin Chamber of Commerce's assets for just 500 low-grade source stones. Wasn't this extortion robbery? Jing Xian angrily roared out, 500 source stones is worth 5-6 million gold coins on the market. You want to use 5-6 million to buy all of Tianjin Chamber of Commerce's assets? In your dreams. I will not agree. The 500 low-grade source stones were brought back from the black market. Miracle Commerce's account was basically zero. How could they have the ability to gather millions of gold coins? Chu Tian had originally planned to use the 500 source stones as a down payment, waiting for the resources to be delivered before paying the rest. This was also in line with the normal transaction process. Who would have thought that this old fellow had the idea of swallowing Miracle Commerce? You like to play the game of forcing people to buy and sell, right? Father will play with you. Fuck, you still dare to be arrogant like this? Chu Tian did not care that he was an old man. He raised his sleeve and slapped him. Jing Xian fell to the ground, his jaw almost dislocated. No. Jing Xian was like a wretched old worm, wriggling on the ground with difficulty. Chu Tian picked him up and glared at him. He roared fiercely, Are you going to sell it or not? Jing Xian's face was swollen, he spat out blood as he shouted, You're robbing me. What robbing? Do you have any fucking culture? This is called forcing people to buy and sell. Chu Tian slapped the other side of his face. Several of Jing Xian's teeth were knocked out and he spat out blood, looking very distressed. Chu Tian picked him up again and continued to roar, Forcing people to buy and sell is giving you face. Do you understand? If you don't have the strength, then don't refuse face. This was a double slap to the face. Jing Xian was about to cry from being hit. He completely collapsed. I'll sell, but can you add a bit more? This amount of money is too little. I really have no way of explaining this to my superiors. The chairman will definitely kill me. Fuck you, you actually dare complain that it's too little? Chu Tian threw Jing Xian's old bones onto the ground, letting him lie down next to Jing Hao. Let me calculate for you. 5-6 million gold coins is not much, but if you add in the lives of your uncle, nephew, and over 100 guards. Chu Tian gently moved his sword and gently slid it across their necks. The cold intent cut through their skin. This deal is still worth it. His meaning was that if they dared to refuse, these over 100 people would not be able to see tomorrow's sun. The uncle and nephew were trembling in fear. The guards were also covered in a cold sweat. How was he a person? He was simply a demon. His previous harmless appearance was all an act. This bastard, he was pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. Fuck. Are you mute? Father here has several 100,000 gold coins every minute and I'm wasting my time with you two pieces of trash. If I want the land, I don't want my name, if I want my life, I don't want it. In short, hurry up and choose for yourself. From the killing intent that was being released from Chu Tian's body, he was definitely a ruthless person. It was possible that he would make a move. Jing Xian said with a crying face, a meteor grass basin is worth at least 20 million and the hidden soundstone mines nearby are all owned by Tianjin Chamber of Commerce. The total value is around 8 million and 10 million. If we sell it for 5 million, how do you want us to explain this to the chairman? I don't care about this. We originally wanted to discuss business, but who told you grandsons to only care about strength and not morality? You have wild ambitions and provoked this disaster. Alright, do you like strength to talk? Father will talk about strength with you. You, Chu Tian raised the netherworld sword with both hands, I'll count to 3. If you don't sign the contract, your head will fall to the ground. 3. 2. What was called spinning a cocoon around oneself? What was called playing with fire and burning oneself? This was a true portrayal of Tianjin Chamber of Commerce. Sign. I'll sign. He had to save his life first. Jing Xian shouted with a head full of sweat. Chu Tian snorted and said, "You're a cheap wretch. I have to beat you up before you're willing to do something, you really don't know what's good for you. Quickly sign it." Both sides took out the contract and Jing Xian braced himself to sign it. A meteor grass basin and 2 hidden soundstone mines, they would all be given to Miracle Commerce. Jing Xian's heart turned cold, but he had to be careful. He had to save his life first. As long as he could return alive, he would think of a way to mediate and not admit it. Chu Tian put away the contract in satisfaction. Jing Xian helped up the frozen Jing Hao and bowed as he said, "The contract has been signed, can we leave now?" Chu Tian squinted his eyes at him, "You're in such a rush to leave, are you playing tricks on me?" Jing Xian quickly said, I don't dare. Don't dare. I think that once you return, you'll immediately go back on your word and not admit it. Your Tianjin Chamber of Commerce is a large family, the kingdom's laws will definitely interfere, I won't be able to take advantage of you. Chu Tian said with a dark face, I'll lose money and not get the land, do you think I look like an idiot? You want to play me like a monkey. Jing Xian wanted to open his mouth to explain. Chu Tian quickly took out a black pill and forcefully stuffed it in his mouth. He covered his mouth and made him swallow it. Jing Xian shouted in a panic, You! What did you give me to eat? Chu Tian revealed an evil smile, have you heard of the Black Flame Medicine Master Mo Yen? The Black Flame Medicine Master was one of the most famous alchemists in Central State City. He was especially proficient in refining all kinds of poisons, how could he not know of him? This is the Black Flame Medicine Master's 100-day rotting heart pill. Jing Xian's face turned as white as paper. The 100-day rotting heart pill was famous. Of course he knew of it. This pill contained a heart-corroding poison. Once a person ate it, they would immediately be poisoned. The heart-corroding poison was a poison that had no cure. Even Zhang Liqing could not do anything about it. The heart-corroding poison would not immediately kill people, but it would slowly corrode their heart, making them wish they were dead. After a long period of cruel torture, their heart would rot and they would die. Chu Tian walked in front of Jing Hao who could not move. He pried open his mouth and threw in a poison pill. These pills were taken from Mo Yan's corpse in the ancient tomb. They didn't think they would be of much use, but now they were being used. The uncle and nephew's faces turned ashen. This time they were really going to die. Don't despair, the heart-corroding poison can be cured. When Chu Tian said this, his voice suddenly changed. From tonight on, be obedient and I will give you the antidote regularly. Otherwise, not only will you not live past 100 days, you will also suffer the pain of 10,000 poisons devouring your heart. Such a vicious brat. He wanted to use a slow poison to control the two of them. Jing Xian angrily roared, don't even think of treating us like puppets. Even if I die, I won't betray the company. If you have the skills, then kill me. You have quite the backbone. Chu Tian laughed, if you really weren't afraid of death, then you wouldn't have signed the agreement. Don't fucking play dumb with me. Do you believe that I won't cripple you? Jing Xian's body trembled and he said with a dejected face, what do you want us to do? Alright, don't cry like that. I, Chu Tian, am a righteous person that reaches the heavens. Everything I do is based on principles and I seek to win people over with virtue. For things to develop to this point today, I am very regretful. You brought this upon yourselves. Suddenly, his voice changed, but you've gained a blessing in disguise. A blessing in disguise? They had been forced to buy resources. They had been forced to take a slow poison. From beginning to end, it had been a disaster. How could there have been a single blessing? Chu Tian sincerely lectured them, as a person, you can't just look at the gains and losses in front of you, you have to look at the long term. Now that you've been controlled by me, you've become my dogs. But you have to know that if a dog follows the right master, then their days will not be bad. There are many people that want to be my dogs, but I refuse. Do you agree? Jing Xian and Jing Hao were filled with shame and indignation. They had never seen such an insult. They had never seen such an insult. Jing Xian had a crying face as he said, yes, that's right. The master has meat to eat and the dogs gnaw on the bones. Chu Tian slowly put away his sword. Right now, I suddenly have an idea. I want to discuss another business deal with you. Chapter 96. Jing Xian shouted in a hoarse voice, it's already hard to explain how you sold the company's resources, don't even think about getting anything else. Don't think of me as a bad person. Chu Tian patted his shoulder, you guys were in the wrong first, that's why I did this, but that's a different matter. It's not the same now, I came here with a win-win attitude, I came here to discuss business with you. Win-win cooperation. It would be strange if they believed you. In the eyes of Jing Xian and Jing Hao, Chu Tian was no longer a person, he was simply a greedy and terrifying demon. Meng Qinggu helplessly shook her head on the side. Evil people will be tortured by evil people. Chu Tian was too bad. However, these two fellows weren't anything good either. Only an even more vicious person like Chu Tian would be able to eat them up. Everyone sit. Chu Tian waved his hand and Meng Qinggu sat down next to him. Jing Xian and Jing Hao trembled in fear, not daring to move. What? Chu Tian raised his eyebrows and forcefully slapped the table, you dare not give me face. Sit, I didn't sit. Of the two of them, one was shivering from the cold and the other had a bloody nose and a swollen face. They were in a very sorry state, carefully sitting down, not daring to even touch their buttocks. It was like there was a nail on the chair. We'll call it even for what just happened. Chu Tian revealed a faint smile, although the negotiation process was a bit unpleasant, the result is still satisfactory. Nonsense. How could you not be satisfied? 500 source stones to buy several tens of millions of assets. Chu Tian did not care about the feelings of the two of them as he casually said, now I want to discuss a new business deal with you guys. If this deal goes through, I'll have meat to eat and bones for you to chew. How could Jing Xian and Jing Hao believe this demon's words? They had already cursed his 18 generations of ancestors in their hearts. Take a look. Chu Tian pulled out a large jade bottle and poured out a few pills. This is called a qi refining pill, it was developed by our company. No matter how bad a person's talent is, after taking a qi refining pill, they will immediately become a body refinement cultivator. There are no side effects and it will take effect instantly. Really? Hearing this, Jing Xian's entire body shook. Miracle Commerce had not only achieved success in the field of new technology, but it had also made such a shocking breakthrough in the field of alchemy. Alchemy was different from new techniques. If one wanted to achieve success in alchemy, they would need a very deep foundation. Miracle Commerce was indeed not simple. This time, it was not unjust. Jing Xian suspiciously asked, "What do you want to do?" Chu Tian said, "You should be very clear about the market value of this kind of elixir once it enters the market. As long as it is casually stirred up, it can easily be sold for thousands of gold coins." Not bad. If the effect of the pill was really as Chu Tian said, it was definitely something that the big families would fight over. Great clans would not hesitate to pay any price to nurture outstanding disciples. This kind of pill could save 1 or 2 years of bitter cultivation. Spending 10 or 20,000 gold coins was completely worth it. Chu Tian then said, "The main ingredient of the qi refining pill is the 3 lives demonic insect. Although the 3 lives demonic insect is a relatively rare medicinal ingredient, it is not an elixir that can only be found by luck." Do you know what this means? Jing Xian's expression changed. This medicine can be mass-produced. This was simply inconceivable. Most of the elixirs that could increase one's cultivation needed to be refined from elixirs that were rich in vitality. Elixirs needed to grow for hundreds or even thousands of years. It was impossible for humans to cultivate them. Chu Tian had refined quite a few pills to increase his cultivation base. For example, the Source Spirit Pill. For example, the Infant Soul Pill. Although the effects of this pill were very strong, the main ingredients were extremely rare elixirs that could only be found by luck. It was not something that could be bought just because one wanted to. Even if one could buy it at a high price, it was impossible to mass-produce it. Elixirs that could not be mass-produced. Naturally, it was not suitable to be sold in pharmacies. The qi refining pill was different. Although its main ingredients were rare, they could be collected and mass-produced. From a commercial point of view, the value of the qi refining pill was much higher than the Source Spirit Pill and the Infant Soul Pill. Miracle Commerce has the method of refining elixirs, but it has not found a suitable source of materials. As Chu Tian said this, he suddenly paused. Tianjin Chamber of Commerce is one of the largest materials companies in southern Xia. I believe that you have the ability to obtain enough ingredients. Jing Xian's heart began to beat wildly. You want to? Chu Tian nodded his head. Let's cooperate. This was definitely a huge business opportunity. Could Chu Tian sincerely cooperate? He had just robbed them of their resources and now the two of them were poisoned. It was almost impossible for them to resist Chu Tian's orders. If Chu Tian wanted them to forcefully transport the materials, they would have no choice but to do so. We can make another agreement. Chu Tian's voice was full of temptation. From tonight onwards, Tianjin Chamber of Commerce will become Miracle Commerce's supplier. Tianjin Chamber of Commerce will enjoy the profits from Miracle Commerce's research and development. If there's money, everyone can earn it together. What do you think? The more materials Tianjin Chamber of Commerce provided, the more pills Miracle Commerce produced. The more pills Miracle Commerce produced, the more returns Tianjin Chamber of Commerce could obtain. Jing Xian felt it was a bit hard to believe. Are you serious? Chu Tian lightly said, I, your father, am a man of my word. I won't go back on my word, unlike you guys. Jing Xian carefully thought for a few seconds. In the current situation, did he have any leeway to refuse? He had to accept it even if he didn't want to. Who told his life to be in the other's hands? Jing Xian felt a deep sense of powerlessness before finally nodding his head. Okay, I am willing to represent Tianjin Chamber of Commerce and become Miracle Commerce's material supplier. Both sides signed a supplier agreement. Chu Tian really did what he said. He didn't squeeze Tianjin Chamber of Commerce anymore. Not only did he purchase the materials according to the market price, he also promised to share a portion of the profits. Jing Xian's mood finally improved a bit. If this cooperation could be carried out smoothly, perhaps he could make up for his mistakes. Chu Tian continued, besides miracle commerce needing large amounts of 3 lives demonic insects, I also need to purchase a batch of nether flame grass and electromagnetic crystal stones. Meng Qinggu was slightly stunned. What kind of medicine was Chu Tian selling in his gourd? The 3 lives demonic insect was the main ingredient of the qi refining pill, so of course it was a strategic material for miracle commerce. They would store as much as they could, but what was the use of nether flame grass and electromagnetic crystal stones? Nether flame grass. Electromagnetic crystal stones. Jing Xian revealed an awkward expression. This thing is very rare, so its price is very high. It doesn't have much use normally, so Tianjin Chamber of Commerce doesn't have much in stock. Money, not a single copper coin less. Goods, bring it all to me. Understood. Understood. Chu Tian needed to cultivate the netherworld flame sword. First of all, he needed to cultivate the netherworld ghost flame. This nether flame grass was the best material for cultivating the netherworld ghost flame, and it was even more expensive than the meteor grass. As for the electromagnetic crystal stones, of course they had other uses. Chu Tian didn't have the money to pay a down payment, so he didn't plan on paying. I'll pay when the goods arrive, money for the goods. Jing Xian's old face instantly turned into a bitter gourd. He didn't even pay a down payment. If he was cheated by miracle commerce, he wouldn't be able to take back a single copper coin. But, what else could he do? Did Jing Xian dare to ask Chu Tian for a down payment? Wasn't that just seeking death? This matter was decided. Both sides had reached an agreement, and this matter finally came to an end. This happy negotiation ended here. Tianjin Chamber of Commerce dragged their defeated troops, supporting each other as they left in low spirits. Meng Qinggu watched them leave and couldn't help revealing a faint smile as she said, "You really are too ruthless." Chu Tian didn't care as he curled his lips. To deal with this kind of person, you should use this kind of method. But I'm very curious. Meng Qinggu's clear eyes looked over. Since you've already used poison to control them, why do you still want to cooperate fairly with them? Young miss, I'm a virtuous person. I only used poison because I had no other choice. Do you know that my conscience is blaming me? Pay. Get to the point. This kind of coercion and extortion can't be done for long. So, I want to give them a bit of sweetness. This way, we can obtain a safe long-term source of materials. This is not a loss for us. This bit of sweetness had to be given. Otherwise, how could he count on them to properly work for Chu Tian? For example, the nether flame grass. If they knew that Chu Tian would trick them, would they still take out all the nether flame grass? Chu Tian continued to cultivate the netherworld ghost flames with the nether flame grass. Otherwise, if he delayed his netherworld flame sword cultivation, it would be a big loss for him. Chu Tian then added, as for the heart-corroding poison, it is just a layer of insurance. There is basically no one in Central State that can cure this poison. With the heart-corroding poison in their bodies, they won't dare play any tricks on us. A strange light flashed in Meng Qingwu's eyes. Kindness and power. Clear reward and punishment. Chu Tian's personality was wild, but his mind was calm. No matter what he did, there would always be a reason. He was clear about kindness and grudges. He was quick to repay kindness and grudges. He was petty at times. He was generous at times. He couldn't tolerate sand in his eyes, but he did things with principles. Contradictory. Very contradictory. What kind of person was this? Meng Qinggu found that the more she understood Chu Tian, the more she couldn't see through him. Young miss, although I'm very handsome, you don't need to stare at me all the time. Meng Qingwu's face turned a bit red as she spat. You think too highly of yourself. Chu Tian laughed. Let's go, let's take a look at our new territory first. The two of them sat in the bronze bull carriage and first came to the meteor grass basin. The meteor grass basin was very large, but the only place that could grow meteor grass was a small area in the center. There were several spirit fields that had been dug out. This meteor was definitely not too large. There wasn't enough foreign materials in it. The meteor grass basin's production was very limited, it could only support the cultivation of a few people in the early stages. They didn't know if this amount of resources would be enough to cultivate the diamond body, but no matter what, they wouldn't need to worry about cultivation materials for the next few months. Good. Good. Chu Tian said good twice. In the meteor grass warehouse, there were a total of 500,000 pieces of finished meteor grass. According to the market price, these 500,000 pieces were worth 5 million gold coins. In addition, there were 2 to 3 million pieces growing in the basin. Let's not talk about how these meteor grass could be used to cultivate, just using it to temper one's body was an incredible feat. It was enough to build a very solid foundation for everyone. Meteor grass would be called meteorite grass after 30,000 years. Meteorite grass was a body-tempering holy medicine, its value was 10,000 times higher than it was now. Other than the top families of the continent, who else had the ability to contract an entire medicinal field? With so much meteor grass to temper one's body, the effect was simply unimaginable. Even if one's innate talent was poor, they would definitely become a top genius. Chu Tian felt that he was one step closer to his dream. Meng Qinggu said, "Have you seen enough? We should go back." "What's the hurry?" Chu Tian gave Meng Qinggu a mysterious wink. "This time we've obtained 2 treasures at once, the meteor grass basin is only one of them." Meng Qinggu tried to figure out Chu Tian's words, her black eyebrows slightly wrinkled. "The other one is, the hidden sound stone?" Chu Tian snapped his fingers. Young miss is indeed exceptionally smart. No matter what Chu Tian did, he always had clear thoughts and motives. When Chu Tian extorted the Tianjin Chamber of Commerce, Meng Qinggu already had this suspicion in her heart. Chu Tian not only wanted the meteor grass basin, he also took the hidden sound stone mine. Although the mine was very large. But the hidden sound stone was not worth much. Chu Tian was not an insatiably greedy person, choosing to ask for the hidden sound stone mine. There must be a deeper meaning. Could the hidden sound stone have some other special use? Chu Tian brought Meng Qinggu to the mine. This was an open-air mine, the scale was very large. There were several warehouses that slowly piled up large amounts of hidden sound stone. Actually, this was Meng Qinggu's first time seeing this kind of strange material. The hidden sound stone's material was very strange, it was like stone and jade, yet not stone and jade. Holding it in her hand, it felt warm and smooth. Chu Tian picked up a fist-sized hidden sound stone and took out a red crystal stone pen from his chest. In just a few seconds, he drew a simple level 1 array. "What are you doing?" Chu Tian took out the hidden sound stone with the array carved and stuffed it into Meng Qinggu's hands. "First activate the array and try talking to it." Meng Qinggu released her spirit energy and activated the array on it, softly saying, "Hey! Hey!" A loud voice reverberated in the warehouse. "Ah!" Meng Qinggu jumped in fright and hurriedly threw the hidden sound stone away. Chu Tian's prank succeeded and he happily laughed. Meng Qinggu came back to her senses after a while and angrily glared at Chu Tian. "What the hell are you doing? This is a sound amplifying array, it needs this kind of material to be effective." Chu Tian picked up the hidden sound stone. When he spoke to the hidden sound stone, his voice was amplified by more than 10 times. It was like a giant beast roaring. "How is it? Very shocking, right?" Meng Qinggu couldn't help nodding her head. "I didn't think a person's voice could be this loud." Chu Tian said, "Actually, the hidden sound stone is a very strange material. It can automatically receive sound waves and can also release sound waves. This is why there are often strange sounds around Hidden Sound Town. This sound amplifying array is only one of the most basic uses of the hidden sound stone. Actually, the value of the hidden sound stone is far beyond what you can imagine. Receive sound waves. Release sound waves. Store sound waves. What can it be changed into? Chu Tian interrupted Meng Qingwu's thoughts. This thing is very useful. Let's first load up the cart and return to the city. The two of them carried several boxes of refined hidden sound stones and placed them on the bronze ox cart. The 18 black-robed men each carried several boxes of meteor grass and several boxes of hidden sound stones. This mission had come to an end and the two of them began to drive back to the city. Chapter 97. The sky was overcast. Lone geese circled around and the fragrant grass covered the sky. It was a desolate scene in the wilderness. Jing Xian and Jing Hao's faces were ruined and the guards were all in a sorry state. If they didn't have a broken arm or a broken leg, they had to support each other as they moved forward. It was like they had lost a battle. Jing Xian stopped and his pig-like face turned around. Everyone listen, this time we sold our family's resources at a low price. When the chairman finds out, he will definitely hold us responsible. If we are light, we will be punished, and if we are heavy, we won't be able to keep our lives. You should know our current situation. Jing Hao gave a heavy sigh. The faces of the 100 guards turned ashen. Jing Xian and Jing Hao were the chairman's little brother and grandson, they would at most be heavily punished. It was impossible for their lives to be in danger. The ones that were truly unlucky were them. Not being able to protect the guards and being humiliated, this was a serious crime that was enough to be sentenced to death. Jing Xian said with a complicated expression, this matter is a big ordeal for us, but I believe that as long as everyone is united, there will be a way to save it. Jing Hao said in a dejected voice, now that it's like this, how can we save it? Are we going to kill our way back to that Chu Tian? Everyone looked at each other in blank dismay. Wasn't this nonsense? Who was willing to go against that demon? They really wanted to hide as far away as possible. Jing Xian seemed like he had already thought of a method. We sold the meteor grass basin and the hidden sound stone mine for 5-6 million gold coins. This is an unforgivable method. There is only one method right now, we can hide it. Hide it? How could they hide it? Such a large matter, how could they hide it? Although the hidden sound stone mine has a large reserve, the amount of mining is not large. If we don't report it, the chairman won't know that we sold the mine. Jing Xian's mind continued to turn as he thought of a way to avoid punishment. As for the meteor grass basin, it was originally worth around 20-30 million gold coins. We only sold it for 5-6 million gold coins, which is a large loss for the company. We can only think of a way to make up for the rest. Everyone looked at each other in blank dismay. Jing Xian's meaning could not be clearer. Since they didn't have enough money, they would make up for it themselves. In order to motivate everyone, Jing Xian steeled his heart and gritted his teeth as he said, I'm prepared to take out all of my savings. I have around 10 million gold coins in total. This is already my limit, I'll leave the rest to everyone. Jing Hao was also afraid of being punished because the punishment was a small matter, but destroying his future was a big matter. At this time, he could only spend money. I'll take out all of my money, there's around 5 million gold coins. Jing Hu said, I'll pay 1 million. I bid 200,000. I bid 100,000. More than 100 people pooled their money together, and in the end, they came up with 18 million gold coins. In addition to Chu Tian's 5 to 6 million gold coins, they had a total of about 24 million gold coins. A friend in need is a friend indeed. The two of them were moved to tears. Thank you, brothers. If we can make it big in the future, we definitely won't forget you. Vice Guild Leader, say no more. This is what we should do. These more than 100 fellow sufferers agreed to collude with each other and pool money. Only after collecting enough gold did they dare return to Central Continent City. Jing Xian and Jing Hao did not believe in Chu Tian from the bottom of their hearts. The benefits that he was talking about were too illusory and ethereal. When the Tianjin Chamber of Commerce's chairman Jing Tianming heard that the two of them had returned, he quickly came out to greet them. Jing Tianming was the chairman of the Tianjin Chamber of Commerce and the highest manager of the Jing family. He controlled the Jing family's financial group and was second only to the four great families in Central State. Jing Hao and Jing Xian had just left Central State to negotiate. Jing Tianming received news from South Sky City that Chu Tian had killed the Ye family elder Chu Tian and crippled the Chu and Yi family elders. This news instantly shook the entire Central State city. Miracle Commerce was not a soft persimmon. This was simply a barrel of gunpowder. Jing Xian and Jing Hao, if this barrel of gunpowder was ignited, they might not even be able to keep their lives. Jing Tianming had been restless for the past 2 days. He was worried that the two of them would offend Chu Tian and be killed by Chu Tian in Hidden Sound Town. Chu Tian even dared to kill the elders of the three great families. What did they count for? Who would have thought that Jing Xian and Jing Hao would actually come back? Jing Tianming looked at the two of them. When he saw the injuries on their faces, he asked in a surprised voice, "How did you get injured?" This. Because we met a group of bandits on the way here, we suffered some minor injuries, but it's not a big deal. Jing Xian did not wait for Jing Tianming to ask and immediately took out the raw stone and gold card. When we were negotiating with Miracle Commerce, we found that Miracle Commerce's strength far surpassed our expectations, so we temporarily cancelled our plans and followed the normal procedure of selling the meteor grass basin. Jing Tianming let out a long sigh of relief. It's a good thing you were smart, otherwise this matter would have been hard to resolve. The meteor grass basin doesn't bring much profit to Tianjin Chamber of Commerce, so it doesn't matter if you sell it. How much did you sell it for? Jing Hao replied, it's a total of 24 million gold coins. It's not a small amount to take this much money from these dangerous people. It's been hard on you. Jing Tianming was a little surprised. You have to remember one thing. From today onwards, don't easily come into contact with Miracle Commerce's people, otherwise it'll be easy to invite trouble. Jing Xian said in a surprised voice, why is that? You don't know yet. Jing Tianming told the two of them the news that had spread throughout Central State City. Chu Tian is not someone you can provoke, he's a madman that even dares to kill the four great families. Now that 3 of the 4 great families have a death grudge with him, it's best to avoid this group of people. Madman? Violent maniac? Dangerous people? Why didn't you say so earlier? Jing Xian and Jing Hao even had the urge to cry. If they knew that Chu Tian dared to kill the elders of the 3 great families, would they have had the courage to extort him? They didn't feel like they had been beaten unjustly at all. You can go rest first. Yes. Jing Xian and Jing Hao prepared to leave. At this time, an incomparably loud cry came from the sky. There was a wild and powerful aura that filled the sky. The vases in the room began to shake. The plants all around them began to shake. It was like an earthquake. Jing Xian said in a shocked voice, such a strong strength, what is going on? This pressure is... Jing Tianming seemed to think of something, it's Prince Tianlang. Jing Hao quickly asked, isn't this Prince Tianlang working with the Ye family to explore the ruins? Why did he come back early? In the skies of Central State City, an incomparably large golden-winged peng circled in the sky. It was like a golden mountain, releasing a dazzling light. Each feather was filled with a powerful strength. It couldn't be wrong. This was Prince Tianlang's mount. Prince Tianlang had really come back. Jing Tianming was suddenly enlightened. I know, South Sky City's matter has angered the Ye family, so it alarmed Prince Tianlang. Prince Tianlang has come back early to deal with South Sky City's Chu Tian. It's over. It's completely over. Jing Xian and Jing Hao's faces were ashen as they almost fell to the ground. Prince Tianlang had personally dealt with South Sky City. Did Chu Tian still have a chance of survival? This was one of the 4 young masters, a shocking talent that could not be stopped by 10,000 people. How many older generation people were afraid of him? If Chu Tian was killed, would they still be able to live? This time, they were really dead. In the Ye family mercenary headquarters, several thousand mercenaries pulled out their weapons as they knelt on the ground. Their faces were filled with awe, just like ministers meeting their king. There was only a middle-aged man standing to the side, but he was also bowing his head, showing a respectful attitude. When the golden eagle flew through the sky, a figure flew out. As if it was weightless, it stepped through the air and slowly descended, finally landing in the center. This was a young man with a strange demonic aura. His body was filled with a wild nature and his eyes were like a lamp. As long as he stared at someone, they would faint. His aura was very strong. He was the heavenly wolf young master. Fourth awakened soul layer. A terrifying super genius with a terrifying battle strength. He was one of the top experts in Central State. The several thousand Ye family mercenaries did not dare look up. This heaven's chosen one was too dazzling, they were afraid it would burn their hearts. The middle-aged man lowered his head. We welcome the young leader's return. Prince Tianlang's eyes were very cold. Where are those pieces of trash? 7 trembling Ye family members were brought out. They were the 7 that had been crippled by Chu Tian in South Sky City. They were all distinguished elders of the Ye family. Although Chu Tian had spared their lives, as punishment, most of their cultivations had been crippled and they would never be able to recover. Young master, take revenge for us. That brat Chu Tian has gone too far. These people seemed to be very afraid. They kept begging and pleading for mercy. This person, I will naturally kill him. Prince Tianlang's demonic wolf-like eyes swept over the 6-7 people and a thick blood-like killing intent filled the air. As for you pieces of trash, young master. No. The 7 of them seemed to realize something and quickly tried to escape. Too fast. Prince Tianlang's figure flashed and like a shadow, he instantly passed through the bodies of the 7 people. The 7 bodies were torn apart at the same time, blossoming into 7 flowers of blood. You've humiliated the family. Die. Ruthless and merciless. These 7 people were all relatives of Prince Tianlang, like his uncles, but he killed them all without even thinking about it. Prince Tianlang licked his blood-stained hands, revealing a strong bloodthirsty aura. The middle-aged man did not even look at the 7 people, as if he had already expected their results. He respectfully walked to Prince Tianlang's side and said in a low voice, Young master, according to our information, Tiannan City's Lord Nangong Yi has asked for help from the Nangong family. Now a Nangong family elder has gone over. A Nangong family elder? When? Not long ago, he just passed through Central State. Just an insignificant abandoned son of the Chu family. Chu Xinghe has suppressed me for many years, now even a lowly bastard abandoned son dares to offend the Ye family. Even if the Nangong family protects him, it's useless. Prince Tianlang's figure flashed. Like an arrow, he shot into the sky and landed below the giant golden peng. The giant peng seemed to feel its master's rage. It suddenly spread its wings and flew towards Tiannan City. Chu Tian. Your time of death has come. The giant peng spread its wings and left Central State City. Prince Tianlang's angry roar still echoed in the sky above the city, making everyone's heart tremble. This young man was too terrifying. Tiannan City's small miracle commerce, how could it withstand his rage? In 2 days, there would be no more Chu Tian in this world. Chapter 98. While Central State City was in an uproar, something big also happened in Tiannan City. Meng Qinggu personally held a press conference and solemnly announced the grand opening of Southern Cloud Medicine Shop and Southern Cloud Talisman Shop. Tiannan City was once a first-class talisman shop with a good foundation. After a month of reorganization, the influence of the poisoning incident had gradually faded. Miracle Commerce's strong rise gave Southern Cloud Commerce a whole new face. Zhang Liqing and Xiong Tianyan's participation aroused the enthusiasm of Tiannan City's citizens. The time was ripe. It was time for Nanyun commerce to once again appear in front of the citizens. Meng Qinggu divided her troops into two groups. On one hand, she personally held a press conference to deal with Tiannan City's major media. On the other hand, she sent out a publicity team to promote the newly opened shops throughout the city. Tiannan City's Central Square. 20 Southern Cloud Commerce employees lined up in a neat formation, wearing neat uniforms, appeared with great fanfare, immediately attracting the attention of many passers-by. Huh? Aren't these Southern Cloud Commerce employees? Southern Cloud Commerce's grand opening day, shouldn't they be very busy? Why are they here? Look, what's that huge flower-shaped thing they're carrying? Some of the sharp-eyed people at the scene were surprised to find that the Southern Cloud Chamber of Commerce's employees were in groups of two. The former was carrying a huge long metal object on his shoulder, the top was shaped like a flower, and the latter was standing behind with his mouth facing the cylindrical opening. They suddenly spoke. Good news! Good news! Southern Cloud Commerce has reopened. All ordinary goods on site will be sold at 20% off. Spending more than 10 gold coins, free injury medicine. Newly launched Qi refining pill, skin petrification talisman, currently in hot demand. If you apply for a Miracle Commerce membership card now, you can enjoy even greater discounts. Being moved is better than being moved, buying is earning. The waves of terrifying sound waves were like the roar of a giant beast, sweeping across the entire plaza. It was like the roar of a giant beast, instantly shocking everyone's hearts. Too sudden. It was like a bolt from the blue. Some timid people were not mentally prepared and almost fainted from fright. This voice was too loud, and it didn't seem to come from a human at all. It was not inferior to a giant magical beast. Even if it was a kilometer away, it could still be heard clearly. Thick and penetrating. What the fuck is this thing? It was impossible for a human to make such a loud noise. It was definitely a problem with the things in the hands of the Southern Cloud Commerce employees. That thing was basically a sonic cannon. The staff of the Southern Cloud Commerce shouted as they moved forward. They first circled around the plaza, then walked into the streets. Everywhere they passed, people were petrified. After the initial shock, everyone gradually came to their senses. Miracle Commerce had obviously come up with another incredible invention. That huge long object was obviously a super loudspeaker that could amplify a human's voice by dozens of times, or even hundreds of times. South Sky City's loudspeaker team was only a small part of it. Meng Qingwu had sent out a team of 300 people, bringing along 150 loudspeakers. They were currently touring the bustling streets of Tiannan City with explosive and violent propaganda. This was unprecedented in this era. Although the publicity method was simple and crude, people could not help but stop and sigh. At least it could attract people's attention. The explosive publicity achieved an immediate effect. The moment the two shops of the Southern Cloud Commerce opened, the entire street was filled with people filled with anticipation, instantly causing a serious traffic jam. Everyone wanted to go in and see with their own eyes what kind of jaw-dropping achievements this creative commerce would achieve. Medicine and talismans were all extremely profitable products. They were specially made with an exclusive formula. Southern Cloud Pharmacy's main product was the Qi refining pill. On the first day, it was limited to 50 pills and priced at 5,000 gold coins. Southern Cloud Talisman Shop's main product was the Rock Skin Talisman. They directly released 5,000 of them and each one was priced at 20 gold coins. These two items were the main products of the Southern Cloud Commerce. Not to mention 5,000 gold coins, even if the Qi refining pill was sold for 10,000 gold coins, the big families of the central state would still crazily buy it. But considering the wealth level of Tiannan City, in addition to promoting the early stage of the promotion, Meng Qinggu lowered the price. Only families or forces could buy it, repeated purchases were not allowed. The rock skin talisman was a new type of defensive talisman. When a body refinement cultivator used the rock skin talisman, the skin and muscles would turn into solid rock. Even if they were directly cut by a blade, they would not receive any serious injuries. It was simply a necessary life-saving talisman for mercenaries and adventurers. The moment the two items were released, they were immediately sold out. Not a single hair was left. Those who were slow couldn't help but beat their chests and stomp their feet in annoyance. Tiannan City was once again in an uproar. In one night, they filled the gap in Tiannan City's talisman and medicine market. They ruthlessly took a big bite out of the big cake, catching everyone off guard. The headlines of all the major media were once again filled with miracle commerce. Everyone couldn't help but sigh at miracle commerce. Chu Tian naturally didn't like to join in on this kind of excitement. With Meng Qinggu in front of him, Chu Tian didn't have anything to worry about. He became a shopkeeper who didn't have to do anything. For the next 2 days, he stayed in his room and concentrated on studying the Hidden Sound Stone. In Chu Tian's era, the Hidden Sound Stone had already been eliminated and was rarely used on the continent. However, as a ore that had changed the continent, it had an inestimable value in this era. There were many era-changing products that used the Hidden Sound Stone as a raw material. However, the current production technology was too weak. Chu Tian couldn't immediately make something that was too advanced. He could only take it step by step and slowly explore and research, first making some rough and ancient things. For example, Southern Cloud Commerce's super loudspeaker. Actually, the super loudspeaker's structure was very simple. It only had a sound-amplifying source energy array and a source energy battery to provide energy. Even a normal person could make a sound that was not inferior to a super-powerful demon beast's roar. This was the lowest level of use for the Hidden Sound Stone. Even so, once the super loudspeaker was popularized, it would bring a lot of convenience to the continent. This thing's structure was very simple and it was very suitable for mass production. He believed that it wouldn't be long before all the large venues, the government, the military, and other large forces would order a large amount of these loudspeakers. The loudspeaker's structure was very simple, so it was very easy to crack. Chu Tian didn't care. The reason why he valued the Hidden Sound Stone so much was not because the Hidden Sound Stone could be used as a material for the super loudspeaker, but because of the potential the Hidden Sound Stone had. He studied it for half a day. Chu Tian. Chu Tian. The sales statistics are out. Meng Qinggu was holding a long list in her hands. Even the usually calm and collected her couldn't help but reveal a happy expression at this moment. It was hard for her to suppress the excitement in her heart. Meng Qinggu excitedly replied, the Qi refining pill and the skin petrifying talisman were all sold out. Just these two alone made a profit of 350,000 gold coins. Adding the other medicines and talismans, we made a profit of 450,000 gold coins in just one day. 450,000 gold coins in revenue. And this was only one day. The new Southern Cloud Commerce had been completely reborn. The amount of revenue they made in one day surpassed the previous quarter. The most important thing was that Southern Cloud Commerce's profit margin was so high that it could scare people to death. For example, the most popular Qi refining pill, the price of its ingredients was only a few hundred gold coins. Now that it was sold for 5,000 gold coins, it was instantly sold out. It was said that there were some central state commerce or families that were selling it for 10 to 20,000 gold coins in the underground market to buy a Qi refining pill produced by Southern Cloud Commerce. Just how big of a profit was this? The talisman business was also very popular. A normal level 1 talisman was sold for a few dozen silver coins at most. Southern Cloud Commerce directly sold it for 20 gold coins. The price was 10 times higher, but it was still very popular because it was a rare commodity. Well done. With one more source of income, we have more confidence. Chu Tian was very satisfied with this. Remember to give more profit to Xiong Tianyan and Zhang Liqing. These days they used the resources of the Alchemy Association and Talisman Master Association to help us. We should at least repay them. Of course there was no need for Chu Tian to say this. Meng Qingwu had already done it. As long as they helped Miracle Commerce would not be stingy. Meng Qingwu pondered for a few seconds and said, the pharmacy and talisman shops are very popular. Some people come late and have to line up for 1 to 2 hours. I feel that if we can continue to be this popular, we can try to merge the talisman and pharmacy shops. Then we can add more products and create a comprehensive shopping center. If you have any ideas, then do it. I support you. Chu Tian did not even ask about the details and expressed his strong support. It was clear that he had a lot of trust in her. This made Meng Qingwu feel a little touched. I also have good news to tell you. Meng Qingwu paused and said, the materials you wanted have all been bought. Really? Meng Qingwu saw the happy expression on Chu Tian's face. It was clear that this made him happier than hearing about Southern Cloud Commerce's results. In Chu Tian's mind, money was not as important as strength. Materials and resources were nothing more than a method to achieve his goal of cultivation. The materials were all gathered. It was time to refine the awakened soul pill. Chu Tian could not wait any longer. He was preparing to move out. Suddenly, there was a burst of pressure coming from the courtyard next door. There was a kind of power awakening. The two of them felt it at the same time. They looked at each other and smiled. They could see the shock and surprise in each other's eyes. It couldn't be wrong. The aura of a new source spirit. This was truly a happy occasion. Today was truly a good day. There were 3 happy events. Ying had been in closed-door cultivation for a whole week. She had finally condensed her source spirit and officially became a peak 9th body refinement layer cultivator. Let's go. Let's go see Ying first. Meng Qingwu threw everything else to the side. The two of them immediately ran to Meng Ying's courtyard to see what was happening. Chapter 99. Meng Ying had lost a bit of weight and her clear-as-water eyes were even more beautiful, as if they were dotted with starlight. A mysterious dreamy aura covered her snow-white skin. Pure, flawless, untainted by even a speck of dust. The elder sister was like a fairy from the moon palace, standing aloof from the world, not eating the food of mortals. The younger sister was like a carefree spirit of the forest, not tainted by the filth of the world. The two sisters had an otherworldly temperament. Hey, what are you looking at? Meng Ying noticed Chu Tian's evil eyes and her cheeks couldn't help turning slightly hot. She fiercely threatened, if you keep looking, I'll stab your eyes. So fierce, a woman's heart is the most poisonous. Chu Tian's heartbroken appearance was like a heartless fool who had been betrayed. That's enough. Meng Qingwu was speechless at Chu Tian's clumsy acting. She was most worried about her little sister's situation. Ying, what source spirit do you have? Source spirit represented a cultivator's potential and talent. Source spirit determined a cultivator's growth in the future. If one was born with a waste source spirit, then their achievements would be limited. Meng Qingwu had awakened a heavenly book source spirit. This kind of source spirit was very rare and there was no cultivation technique suitable for Meng Qingwu. So Meng Qingwu was destined to never become a peak battle type expert. Physique could be changed, aptitude could be changed. Only the soul could not be changed. What kind of source spirit did Meng Ying have? This was related to her little sister's lifetime achievements, so Meng Qingwu was a bit nervous. I don't know, but you'll know once you see it. Meng Ying's delicate and beautiful face slightly wrinkled. Suddenly, she clasped her hands together and began to condense her magic power. One could only see the smooth specks of magic power escaping from her body into the air, condensing into a blurry mirror. This was a frameless mirror. It was crystal clear, like it was condensed from mercury. It looked a bit strange. The elder sister was a book source spirit. The younger sister was a mirror source spirit. How could these two sisters have strange source spirits? Meng Qinggu quickly asked, do you feel anything different? Does the mirror source spirit have any attack abilities? No, I don't feel any power being added to my body. Meng Yingying had a worried expression as she sighed and said, it seems like a useless source spirit. Meng Qinglu's heart sank. Could it be that his little sister's source spirit was useless? She looked at Chu Tian with a pleading gaze. Now she could only pray that Chu Tian could discover the characteristics of this source spirit. Chu Tian revealed a faint smile, there is no true waste source spirit, any kind of source spirit has its value, it's just a matter of how to excavate it. Meng Yingying's eyes lit up. Then, she lowered her head and pursed her lips. Are you pretending to comfort me? Actually, I don't have to do this. I'm already very satisfied with my current achievements. This girl. Why didn't she have any confidence? Chu Tian observed the mirror source spirit for a few minutes before he suddenly discovered something. His eyes lit up, Yingying, keep your source spirit open. I'll teach you a fist art now. Observe it carefully and see how much you can remember. The Meng Qinggu sisters were very surprised. Everything was fine, why was he teaching her a fist art? Chu Tian walked to the center of the small courtyard and the mirror slowly approached. There was a faint reflection of Chu Tian's appearance. Chu Tian began to gather his qi, deliberately filling the entire process. He suddenly stepped forward and his right fist shot out like a meteor. Rushing heaven fist. A fierce gust of wind came from his fist, causing the short trees in front of him to sway. Chu Tian slowly withdrew his spirit energy. How is it? How much did you remember? You didn't say anything. Meng Qinggu was a bit confused. Teaching martial arts requires teaching heart cultivation, qi circulation methods, force usage techniques, and etc. If a person could learn it once, then there wouldn't be any secret martial arts in this world. Meng Yingying closed her eyes to think for a few minutes. Then she suddenly jumped like a rabbit, jumping into the center of the small courtyard. Her fists danced. She was very unfamiliar at first, but after practicing it twice, she immediately became proficient. It was almost the same as Chu Tian's. Suddenly, she threw out a punch. The wind from her fist flew out. It actually had 60 to 70% of the charm. Chu Tian nodded his head in satisfaction. Rushing heaven fist was a foundation martial art in the future. It was very refined and contained the truth of the Grand Tao. It was not something that could be easily learned. This martial art could be used by anyone with a low cultivation base. In the future, it would become stronger as one's cultivation base became stronger. Meng Qinggu was stunned. Meng Yingying's brain was not that smart, she was even a bit dumb. How could she learn it after seeing it once? She even imitated all kinds of qi circulation techniques. Meng Yingying's face turned red, revealing an excited and happy expression. I know. So. Chu Tian shook his head. I will teach you the diamond vein severing finger. This martial art is very powerful. If you can master it, you can easily defeat your enemies in close combat. It can also be used to seal other people's cultivation base. It is suitable for dealing with captives. Watch carefully. Chu Tian demonstrated the diamond vein severing finger. The diamond vein severing finger was much more complicated than rushing heaven fist. How complicated were the meridians and acupoints of the human body? Different living beings and different races had different acupoints. The mysterious part of this finger technique was that it did not need to accurately hit the acupoint. As long as it hit a meridian, the finger force would automatically enter the acupoint or directly sever the meridian. When the entire set of martial arts was demonstrated, Meng Qinggu was dizzy and could not remember anything. Chu Tian stopped. It's your turn. All right. Meng Yingying began to practice. She was very unfamiliar with it at first, but after practicing 4-5 times, there was not much difference between her and Chu Tian's. Yingying's source spirit's ability is imitation. That's right, this is a mirror source spirit. Because her strength is too low, she can only imitate basic martial arts. As her strength increases, her imitation ability becomes stronger and stronger. This is a source spirit with great potential. Meng Yingying said in a pleasantly surprised voice, really? A mirror source spirit has a special characteristic, it becomes strong when it meets a strong opponent and weak when it meets a weak opponent. Chu Tian gave a narcissistic sigh, you really are lucky, being together with a peerless expert like me. If you imitate me, it will be hard for you not to be strong in the future. Meng Yingying's heart filled with joy, this was truly great. Being able to follow in Chu Tian's footsteps, this was truly a fortunate matter. But her mouth still said, narcissistic. Meng Qingguo asked in a curious voice, other than martial arts, can it also imitate other things? Of course it can. Chu Tian said to Meng Qingguo, try releasing your source spirit. Meng Qingguo released her heavenly book source spirit. Meng Yingying also released her mirror source spirit. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. 10 seconds passed. Meng Qingguo withdrew her source spirit. What was strange was that inside Meng Yingying's mirror, there was still a book source spirit. Moreover, the mirror slowly melted like mercury, finally turning into a mercury book. Meng Qingguo revealed a shocked expression, it can even imitate a source spirit? If it was like this, then it was too terrifying. It was simply heaven-defying. It is impossible for a source spirit to completely imitate, it can only be temporarily imitated. But in the end, it is not your own. The imitated source spirit is incomplete and can only obtain a part of the effect, there is no room for growth and potential. Chu Tian did an experiment and took out the book for her to look at. Meng Yingying also had a strong memory, but compared to Meng Qingguo, there was still a gap. Moreover, Meng Yingying could only imitate basic abilities. The ancient memories recorded in the heavenly book could not be imitated by a mirror source spirit. Meng Yingying smiled as she said, this is great, with elder sister's learning ability, I used to read for 6 hours a day, but now I can finish it in 10 minutes. Moreover, I can remember it all. Try mine now. Chu Tian released the demon god's sword source spirit. Hey, I'll also learn your skills. Meng Yingying was now filled with confidence as she immediately used her mirror source spirit. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Meng Yingying felt a strong sense of fatigue as she copied the source spirit. Moreover, the longer it took, the stronger the fatigue became. Ah! Around 8 seconds later, Meng Yingying cried out in fear. The mirror source spirit shattered and the sword source spirit also disappeared. Meng Yingying's body went soft as she fell to the ground. Are you alright? I feel dizzy. As expected. The mirror source spirit was not omnipotent. The things the mirror could copy, there was an upper limit. When the energy was too strong, the source spirit could not copy it. No matter what was said, Meng Yingying's copying ability was definitely not weak. Meng Yingying had many different source spirit abilities. Although they were all incomplete, there was still a large number of them. Chu Tian was worried that the potential of the two sisters was too low, but now it seemed like his worries were unnecessary. These two source spirits did not have any battle strength bonuses at this stage, but as they became stronger, their effects would not be inferior to any god-level source spirit. You rest first. Don't play with the source spirit for now. Chu Tian and Meng Qingguo helped Meng Yingying into the room. Yingying was lying on the bed with a pale face. It seemed like there were some things that could not be forced. Copying a source spirit that exceeded her abilities would cause a strong negative effect on her. How do you feel? I'm hungry. Chu Tian and Meng Qingguo both began to laugh. This silly girl, she really had thick nerves. When Meng Yingying saw the two of them laughing at her, she immediately said in an unconvinced voice, I've been in closed-door cultivation for 7 days and I've only eaten a piece of dry rations every day. Good. I'll bring you something to eat. After Meng Qinggu left, Chu Tian stayed by her bedside to accompany her. At this time, a soft little hand reached out from the blanket and placed itself on Chu Tian's palm. It was like a ball of soft cotton. Chu Tian, thank you. Chu Tian was a bit stunned. She was like a startled rabbit, immediately shrinking back into the blanket. For the first time, Chu Tian did not tease her, he did not break this moment of warmth. This is just the beginning, we will definitely become better and better. Chu Tian, I know you are a person who will do great things. Meng Yingying was hidden in the blanket, only revealing a pair of beautiful big eyes. No matter where you go in the future, no matter what stage you develop to, me and elder sister will always be by your side to support you. Chu Tian gave a knowing smile, ha, relax and follow me. I'll bring you to create a new era. Really? What do you think? Then young Miss Yingying will have to wait and see. You're not allowed to brag. Meng Yingying's heart was filled with joy. If Chu Tian said it, then he would definitely be able to do it. Now that there was hope in life, it was very steady. The materials for the awakened soul pill had arrived. Chu Tian was confident that he could push the three of them to the awakened soul realm. The Tianjin Chamber of Commerce should have already sent out the goods. The nether flame grass that Chu Tian needed to cultivate the netherworld ghost flame should arrive in a few days. For defense, he had the starlight immortal body. For battle, he had the netherworld flame sword. His cultivation could break through to the awakened soul realm. There was no doubt that his strength would increase by more than 10 times. While Chu Tian was complacently planning, Meng Qinggu suddenly ran in and said to Chu Tian, the Nangong family's messenger is here, the mayor wants you to quickly go. Chapter 100. The Nangong family was one of the 3 great families of southern Xia. Their ancestors were the ancestors of the mushroom hair-drinking tribe. Because they helped southern Xia in the war, they took root in the country. After several hundred years of development, their foundation was solid and they had a deep influence. They were one of the most powerful families in the kingdom. The envoy from the Nangong family had come to this small city, it had caused a stir in countless people. There was no need to mention the reason. Naturally it was because of Chu Tian. Chu Tian quickly went to the mayor's palace. In the mayor's palace's reception hall, there were several dozen Nangong family guards wearing red armor, carefully guarding the surroundings. There was a 60-year-old man wearing a purple-red robe, holding a dark gold staff in his hand, his body was filled with a heavy and fanatical aura. His eyes were not big, but his gaze was like a torch, making it hard for people to look straight at him. This old man's cultivation base was very high, perhaps even higher than Nangong Yi's. Actually, within the awakened soul realm, there were 3 different stages. The higher the awakened soul realm, the stronger one was. The first layer to the 3rd layer was the early awakened soul realm, known as the void soul. The 4th layer to the 6th layer was the middle awakened soul realm, known as the illustrious soul. The 7th layer to the 9th layer was the late awakened soul realm, known as the true soul. Nangong Yi was at the peak of the triple awakened soul, but he was still in the void soul realm. As for the old man from the Nangong family, he had most likely reached the illustrious soul realm. The difference on the surface was not much, but the difference in spirit energy was very large. The most important point was that when the old man arrived at the mayor's palace, Nangong Yi took the initiative to let the old man sit in the main seat. As for the mayor, Nangong Yi, he could only sit on the side. The difference in status was very clear. Chu Tian has arrived. The guard at the door loudly shouted. A delicate and handsome young man walked in. Wearing a simple blue robe, sitting on his shoulder was a little white fox, carrying a simple sword on his back, eyes as bright as the stars. That unrestrained temperament made people feel a kind of inferiority. Ding, ding, dang, dang. A simple and ordinary bell was tied to his waist. With every step he took, it would ring a few times. The sound of the bell had a kind of soul-shaking power. As long as Chu Tian appeared, the audience would be completely silent. The 18 black-robed people stood outside the main hall. They did not follow Chu Tian in. The 18 black-robed people stood outside the main hall. They did not follow Chu Tian in. The old man also stopped tasting his tea. His torch-like gaze slowly swept over Chu Tian. Chu Tian immediately felt a powerful pressure. He really was worthy of being an illustrious soul realm awakened soul expert. Even if he didn't release his source spirit, he could still create a strong pressure. If it was an ordinary body refinement realm cultivator, not to mention walking, even standing would be a very difficult thing to do. Chu Tian only paused for a moment before he continued walking as if he didn't notice anything. Nangong Yi was very satisfied with Chu Tian's performance. He stood up and introduced him, Elder Nangong Hai, this young man is Chu Tian, he is the super genius I just mentioned to you. Nangong Hai's expression was lukewarm as he said in a questioning tone, Nangong Yi's evaluation of you in his letter is very high, is that true? Nangong Yi secretly gave Chu Tian a look. His meaning was, don't speak for now. Nangong Yi replied for Chu Tian, Elder, to be honest, Chu Tian is the most talented young man I have ever seen in my life. The Nangong family has always been looking for talented people. I think we should take him in as a guest official to show the family's attitude of looking for talented people. The Nangong family's guest official position is not something you can give just because you want to. Nangong Hai's lukewarm attitude was hard to understand. The awakened soul realm is the most basic standard. If you don't even have the awakened soul realm, no matter how talented you are, the family will not accept you. Not to mention he wants 3 at once. Is being a guest official in the Nangong family like cabbages? Chu Tian discovered a problem. The two of them came from the same family, but they were very unfamiliar with each other. There was even a gap between them. The large family was not as united as he imagined. The two of them in the Nangong family were not on the same side. There was even a conflict of interest. Nangong Yi was about to open his mouth. Alright, let's not talk about the guest official position for now. Nangong Hai had already stood up and reprimanded Nangong Yi in front of everyone. The main reason I came to South Sky City is to investigate the conflict between you and the Ye family and the Chu family. Nangong Yi, you should know that the family transferred you to Central State to let you develop the Nangong family's influence in the Central State military and political circles. But, don't look for excuses. The family is very disappointed in you. Nangong Yi knit his brows. I don't care what the family thinks of me, but this young man, Nangong Hai's tone became severe. Do you understand your mission? Not only did you not obtain the desired results for the family in Central State, but you also offended the large local family, causing a conflict between the large local family and the Nangong family. Because of your actions, the Nangong family will lose several strong supporters. Have you considered the big picture? Nangong Yi firmly said, the large local family is just a group of jumping clowns. Why would the Nangong family care about their face? A just cause enjoys abundant support while an unjust cause finds little support. Don't tell me you still don't understand this principle. Nangong Hai's tone became somewhat severe. Of course I won't oppose you recruiting talented people, but don't forget your mission. Nangong Yi was a bit angry. This kind of pedantic person, it was simply infuriating. The Ye family, Chu family, and Nangong family had won over the support of several families, but could it really compare to the support of a single Chu Tian? Nangong Yi angrily said, Elder, your actions are like burning the bridge after crossing the river. I've already shown you this young man's work. Don't tell me you don't understand his talent, so why deliberately obstruct him? Obstruct? Humph. Nangong Hai stared at Chu Tian. Brat, let me ask you, why do you want to be the Nangong family's guest elder? Chu Tian frowned. He felt that today's matter wouldn't be so easy. If you don't want to say it, I'll help you say it. You've only offended a few large families, so you're desperate to find a protective umbrella. Nangong Hai said with a smile, since you want the Nangong family's protection, then you should show some sincerity. Only when you're truly loyal to the Nangong family will we consider giving you protection. But with such a two-faced approach, how can I recommend you? If you become a guest elder today and leave tomorrow, where will the Nangong family put their face? What kind of fucking reason is this? Giving you the Nangong family's secret technique, isn't it enough to exchange for a guest elder position? Even if I really leave, your Nangong family won't lose anything. Chu Tian had never been a good-tempered person. Since the Nangong family disdained him, then why bother? If that's the case, then I don't want to be a guest elder. Young man, you have the talent, but the method is wrong. Nangong Hai bluntly said, how about this, I'll accept you as a registered disciple on behalf of the family and take you away from the central state. You won't have to worry about the other families seeking revenge, and the Nangong Yi won't deepen the conflict with the local clans because of you. This is good for everyone. Registered disciple? Fuck your registered disciple. Chu Tian couldn't help but feel a bit angry. So what if I'm a registered disciple? It's not even a fart. A mere registered disciple of an elder, not only will he not get the Nangong family's protection, but he will also be restricted and even become a puppet. This old dog has ulterior motives. He clearly wants to keep me by his side and use me as a walking dictionary to squeeze out my value. Do you really think that I, Chu Tian, am an idiot? Nangong Hai did not allow him to argue. You, come with me now. Nangong Yi angrily said, I don't agree. Nangong Yi, are you a member of the Nangong family or not? Please pay attention to your status, you don't have the qualifications to tell this elder what to do. Nangong Hai coldly looked at Nangong Yi, no one can change the decision I've made. The whole matter had developed to this point. This was something that Nangong Yi did not expect. When Nangong Hai was about to order the guards to directly take down Chu Tian, the entire mayor's palace suddenly began to violently shake. A terrifying pressure came from above South Sky City. Nangong Hai's 2 white hairs stood up and he coldly shouted, who dares to provoke the Nangong family? After saying this, he directly shot out from his seat and turned into a ray of light that shot out of the hall. In the sky, the wind and clouds changed. The wind howled, there was a brutal aura that filled the sky, the entire space was covered by a powerful pressure. Everyone couldn't help revealing a look of horror. This was the aura of an ancient beast. Could it be that a terrifying beast was passing through South Sky City? At this time, an incomparably large Jin Peng was slowly flying towards South Sky City. What kind of demon beast is this? When Nangong Yi and Nangong Hai saw the Jin Peng, their eyebrows knit together. The Golden Peng was a very strong level 2 demon beast, but its strength was at most at the second awakened soul layer. It was not an ancient species, it could not release such a strong aura. Everyone quickly look. There's someone on the back of the Jin Peng. The South Sky City crowd went into an uproar. The sound of people sucking in a breath of cold air came one after another. On the majestic Golden Peng, there was actually a white-clothed youth that looked to be around 20 years old. His hands were crossed in front of his chest and his white robe was fluttering in the wind. Riding on the Golden Peng, his eyes were as handsome as a demon, the scene was very impressive. The impact of this scene was too strong. How could there be such a strong person in this world? That ancient beast-like aura was being released from this person's body. Nangong Hai could feel the other side's aura. To be able to release such a strong pressure, it was clear that he was an illustrious soul realm expert. He revealed a trace of anger, no matter who it is, daring to cause trouble in the Nangong family's territory. How could I let you go? A roar sounded. Nangong Hai's body released a large amount of fire-red spirit energy. This spirit energy was different from a normal person's spirit energy, it was like a dense liquid that flowed around his body. The surging heat waves were very threatening. Magma Source Spirit. Nangong Hai was truly worthy of being a member of the Nangong family. He had a pure fire-attributed source spirit and his spirit energy could turn into magma, possessing a terrifying destructive might. Nangong Hai's body was covered in magma. His body became several times bigger and he looked like a magma giant. Ha, ha, ha. I've long heard that the Nangong family's burning the heavens art is very overbearing. Let me experience it today. The young man jumped up and jumped off of the Jin Peng's back. His spirit energy was released and a giant wolf appeared behind him. This wolf was very large and its body was as black as jade. Its 4 feet were covered in flames, its eyes were like torches, and there was a pair of incomparably large dragon wings on its 2 sides. The intimidating pressure of a fierce beast was released from this origin soul. Nangong Hai and the monstrous young man fought for 3-4 rounds in the air. Flames soared into the sky and wild winds raged. They were actually evenly matched. Nangong Hai's heart was filled with amazement. This young man was only around 20 years old, but his cultivation base was this high. Even in the strong Nangong family, there weren't many geniuses like this. Ha, ha, ha. Truly worthy of being a middle-awakened soul realm illustrious soul realm expert from the Nangong family. This monstrous young man became braver the more he fought, he actually had the upper hand. His source spirit suddenly expanded and covered his entire body. The giant wolf seemed to come to life as it flapped its wings in the air and charged at Nangong Hai. God Wolf Heavenly Raid. Burning the Heavens Fist. The magma around Nangong Hai's body began to boil as he sent a fist flying into the air. The 2 strong forces collided and many of the houses in South Sky City were set on fire. The surrounding people all began to flee in panic. There hadn't been a battle of this level in South Sky City in 100 years. The 2 of them were too strong. The monstrous young man was sent flying several feet, he was clearly lightly injured. Nangong Hai had a trace of blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. His injuries were actually a bit heavier. Although their cultivations were similar, the monstrous young man's source spirit was stronger. I recognize it. Dragon-winged demonic flame wolf. This is the dragon-winged demonic flame wolf. This person is one of the Central State 4 young masters, Prince Tianlang, Yi Tianlang. Everyone looked at each other in amazement. No wonder this person was so strong. He was actually one of the famous Central State 4 young masters, the 3rd-ranked Prince Tianlang, Yi Tianlang. Chapter 101. The confrontation between the 2 top experts shocked the people of South Sky City. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have believed that a person could be this strong. Chu Tian, quickly leave. Nangong Yi said to Chu Tian with a calm face, the current situation is not good for you. That old man Nangong Hai has hidden evil intentions and Yi Tianlang is here to settle accounts with you. Leave. Could he leave? Chu Tian didn't even have an awakened soul realm cultivation, how could he escape from the palms of these 2 people? Since he couldn't leave, why would he run away in such a sorry state? Humph, don't worry Mayor, I'm not that easy to deal with. Nangong Yi didn't think things would turn out like this. The Central State 4 young masters, each one was not a small matter. They were the most talented geniuses of the 4 great families. They were people who used the power of the entire family and invested millions upon millions of resources to train. Whether it was strength, influence, they were all at the peak of Central State. How could Chu Tian compete? Not to mention there was a Nangong Hai. At this moment, when Nangong Hai understood Yi Tianlang's identity, he revealed a surprised expression, I never thought that the Central State Ye family would produce such a powerful person. Yi Tianlang seemed weightless as he flew through the air and slowly landed on the ground. His white robe made him look noble and aloof. His eyes that were like a wolf's, flashed with a strange light. Elder Nangong Hai is indeed an expert of the Nangong family, this junior is also full of admiration. Nangong Hai was very clear in his heart. Yi Tianlang was giving him face. Although Nangong Hai's cultivation was higher than Yi Tianlang's, his source spirit and talent were far inferior. If they continued to fight, Nangong Hai wouldn't be able to last more than 50 moves. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, if he was defeated, where would his face be? Nangong Hai frowned and asked, Prince Tianlang came all the way to Tiannan City. I'm afraid it's not to compete with this old man, right? Yi Tianlang's lips curled into a devilish smile. I'm representing the Ye family to discuss an alliance with the Nangong family. The Ye family is willing to support the Nangong family. Nangong Hai's heart thumped. Yi Tianlang was a genius. The Ye family was also a mercenary family with many experts. If they could stand under the Nangong family's banner, it would definitely be a great help to the Nangong family. If he, Nangong Hai, came to the central continent and facilitated such a good thing, wouldn't that be a great merit for the family? The Ye family only has one condition. What condition? Yi Tianlang's eyes searched through the crowd. There is a little brat here called Chu Tian who used tricks to harm the Ye family elders and cripple 7 of the Ye family's experts. This caused my Ye family to be shamed, and we are like fire and water. The elders don't want to see the alliance between the two families be destroyed by an unrelated small character, right? Nangong Hai laughed. I thought it was a big deal. It's just a little brat, of course I can let you torture him. But this person is still useful to me, so I hope you can spare his life and let me bring him back. Yi Tianlang's brows knit together. Since I'm here, he must die. Young Master Yi, please be at ease. Nangong Hai solemnly vowed, you can completely cripple him, never to rise again, and I will be responsible for the rest of his days. He will live a life worse than death. How about this? All right. Yi Tianlang thought it was a good idea. Then let me first cut off his limbs bit by bit, crush all his bones, so that he can never stand up, and forever become a useless cripple. Chu Tian is here. Nangong Hai didn't care. Do as you please. Absolutely not. Nangong Hai coldly looked at Nangong Yi, who stood out. The Ye family is famous in Zhongzhou. Can one person be more important than the support of the entire Zhongzhou Ye family? Idiot. Nangong Yi angrily stared at Nangong Hai, losing his mind and roaring, no matter how much sand and stones there are, how can they compete with a divine diamond? As long as I can still stand today, I will not allow this to happen. Nangong Hai. What a big idiot. Didn't he know that his way of doing things would make Chu Tian hate the Nangong family? This was planting a seed of destruction for the Nangong family. Chu Tian definitely had the ability to destroy the entire family. He definitely had it. The volcano source spirit was released. Nangong Hai flew into a rage. Nangong Yi, you have no one in your eyes, looking down on your elders. Do you want to violate the family rules? Since it's like this old man will teach you a lesson on behalf of the family head. Elder Nangong, calm your anger. Yi Tianlang leisurely took a step forward, releasing the fierce dragon-winged demonic flame wolf. I've long heard that the Nangong family's Nangong Yi is very strong, possessing the powerful volcano source spirit, but I never had a chance to ask for it. How about we take this chance today and have a good competition with Mayor Nangong? Nangong Yi had repeatedly protected Chu Tian. This could be said to have angered the Ye family. Yi Tianlang wanted to take this chance to fiercely teach Nangong Yi a lesson. He wanted to let this fellow know who had the final say in Central State. Nangong Hai knew what Yi Tianlang was thinking. This old man is too lazy to make a move. I'll have to trouble Prince Tianlang. Nangong Yi's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This old bastard. Truly hateful. The situation was very bad. One was Yi Tianlang, one was Nangong Hai. Both of them were fourth awakened soul layer illustrious soul realm experts, while Nangong Yi was only at the peak of the triple awakened soul void soul realm. The gap between the triple awakened soul and the fourth awakened soul layer was very large. With Nangong Yi's strength, he could not beat either one of them. Could he really protect Chu Tian from two illustrious soul realm experts? Is Mayor Nangong prepared? Nangong Yi revealed a cautious expression. Monster wolf transformation. Transform into my body. Yi Tianlang gave a long roar and the dragon-winged demonic flame wolf source spirit turned into strands of black flames. It was like a layer of armor that was evenly distributed around Yi Tianlang's body. Man and wolf as one. Spirit and body as one. At this moment, Yi Tianlang had turned into a half-man, half-wolf monster. That pair of demonic eyes had now turned into a demonic green color. This is the central state Ya family's inherited cultivation technique, monster wolf transformation. Whether it was the Chu family's soul sword secret art, the Ya family's monster wolf transformation, or the Nangong family's burning the heavens art, they were all cultivation techniques that were compatible with the family bloodline. Not only was it easier to cultivate, it was also more compatible with one's source spirit, allowing one to display a stronger battle strength. Yi Tianlang was surrounded by a fierce aura. He was like an ancient demonic wolf that had just awoken from its slumber. With a cruel and playful gaze, he looked at the prey in front of him. Nangong Yi? What a joke! Yi Tianlang turned into a blur as he charged forward. His spirit energy condensed into a wolf claw on his right arm. The black claw glow left behind 5 deep marks on the walls. The walls on both sides were completely torn apart. With an incomparably threatening aura, he charged at Nangong Yi. Nangong Yi's hands suddenly came together. Volcano shield. The volcano seemed like it had been suppressed for tens of thousands of years. Like a broken dam, it spat out a surge of energy that condensed into an incomparably large barrier. Hong! The black claw glow shattered the barrier, but it did not harm Nangong Yi, who was behind the barrier. Nangong Yi seized this chance and sent out a flaming fist at Yi Tianlang. Yi Tianlang was a bit surprised as he used his left fist to meet the attack. The two fists collided. Half the windows of the buildings on the street were shattered by the fierce strength. The air instantly exploded and dust was blown into the air. Many of the weaker people fainted on the spot. Yi Tianlang was forced back several steps. A trace of blood leaked from the corner of Nangong Yi's mouth. The volcano source spirit was truly strong. Although it was not a top-level god-level source spirit, it still had a very wild strength. Because he had the volcano source spirit, Nangong Yi's spirit energy was 2-3 times stronger than other cultivators of the same level. Nangong Yi had the volcano source spirit. Although he was at the peak of the triple awakened soul, he could still kill a third illustrious soul cultivator. This Nangong Yi was very strong. It was a pity that he was born in the wrong family. The Nangong family had too many geniuses. If he was born in one of the Central State 4 families, with his talent, he would have received the same training as the Central State 4 young masters. The volcano source spirit was very strong, but it had a clear weakness. The volcano source spirit had a terrifying destructive might and also had a strong spirit energy. However, the volcano could not continuously erupt. Nangong Yi released a spirit energy shield, which was enough to block Yi Tianlang's full-strength attack. But when he sent out a fist, its might was indeed a lot weaker. Yi Tianlang hastily received it, but he was still able to injure it. The volcano source spirit could only erupt for a moment and Nangong Yi's battle strength would increase by several times. When the source spirit calmed down and began to brew again, Nangong Yi's strength would decrease by a large amount. He would be no different from a normal triple awakened soul expert. Mayor Nangong has some skills. Let's try this move again. Tianlang's prey hunt. The dragon-winged demonic flame wolf source spirit jumped out from Yi Tianlang's body and turned into 4 small wolves in the air. Each small wolf turned into a black shadow that was hard to see with the naked eye. They moved as fast as lightning around Nangong Yi. Pang! Nangong Yi's back was hit by a palm. Chi! Nangong Yi's chest was hit by a claw. After being attacked 4-5 times in a few seconds, the 4 wolves charged at him at the same time, preparing to bite different parts of his body. Nangong Yi had no choice but to release the volcano's spirit energy and heavily slap the ground, burning heaven-splitting earth palm. The surging volcano's spirit energy erupted. The thick volcano's spirit energy was like 10,000 horses galloping as it swept across the street. The stone floor within several meters began to crack as it was melted by the high temperature of the volcano's spirit energy. Nangong-yi released his strength once more. This was a good chance. Yi Tianlang once again fused with his source spirit and turned back into a wolf man. Several dozen attacks landed on Nangong-yi from different directions. The last palm landed on Nangong-yi's back and sent him crashing into a thick wall, causing the entire wall to collapse. Nangong-hai was not angry, rather he was rejoicing in other people's misfortune. It seemed like he was very happy to see Nangong-yi being beaten. The difference in strength was already very clear. Nangong-yi angrily roared as he jumped out of the rubble. However, his mayor's robe was already in tatters, his hair was disheveled, and his face was covered in blood. It was clear that he had been heavily injured. His eyes were filled with battle intent. Nangong-yi had faith. He definitely could not lose this battle. Chu Tian's potential and Chu Tian's danger, Nangong-yi had a deep feeling. The Nangong family could not obtain this genius, but they could not become enemies with him. Otherwise, in just a few years, this 1,000-year inheritance, hundreds of years of development, and a large family with an excellent bloodline would face the danger of being exterminated. This was not alarmist talk. Chu Tian definitely had the ability to do this. Your will is quite strong. Yi Tianlang turned into a shadow as he charged forward and kicked Nangong-yi's chest. Nangong-yi spat out a large mouthful of blood, even his source spirit was scattered on the spot. He was once again knocked to the ground, unable to climb back up. Yi Tianlang's attack was too heavy. With Nangong-yi's injuries, if he didn't stay in bed for 2-3 months, it would be hard for him to recover. Mayor Nangong-yi's volcano source spirit, it seems like it's only so. This really disappoints me. Yi Tianlang, in front of the South Sky City citizens and in front of Nangong-hai, had unscrupulously humiliated the mayor. The citizens all revealed looks of anger. This Yi Tianlang was too excessive. Nangong-yi was a good mayor and had the support of the people in South Sky City. He had not only humiliated Nangong-yi, he had humiliated the entire South Sky City. Mayor. The Ye family is too much of a bully. Yi Tianlang casually waved his hand, scram. Those people were like wheat being cut, they instantly fell down, spitting out mouthfuls of blood, their injuries were not light. It's over. Completely over. This was clearly a youth with the ability to change the world and strengthen the entire southern Xia. Did they really have to watch him fall? At this time, a few clear bell sounds rang in everyone's ears. Ding dang. Ding dang. Everyone felt like they were in a trance. Chu Tian walked out from the crowd, his eyes looked at Yi Tianlang, then swept over Nangong-hai, and finally fell on Nangong-yi, revealing a profound smile. The Nangong family is a family with the immortal bird as their totem. You claim to be the inheritors of the immortal bird, but do you really understand the essence of the immortal bird? Chu Tian seemed to be talking to himself, although his voice was very soft, it was deafening. What did he mean by that? The Nangong ancestors used the immortal bird as their totem. I think it was to warn their descendants to be as proud as the immortal bird. Even if they had to go through a disaster, even if their bones were crushed, they would still be able to rise from the ashes. As long as they have the conviction to rise from the ashes, the immortal bird will never die. This is the true spirit of the immortal bird. Nangong-yi was slightly startled. Chu Tian's eyes fell on Nangong-yi. Haven't you noticed? Your potential is thousands of times stronger than this bullshit Nangong-hai. When you fearlessly challenge stronger opponents, you have already touched the bottleneck. Go and try to break through. Really? Why didn't I feel it myself? Let me lend you a hand. Chu Tian recited a complex and profound Heart Sutra. It was a fragment of the great Nirvana Heart Sutra. Nangong-yi had been stuck at the peak of the triple awakened soul for a long time. Actually, he was like Yin Yao, having the possibility of breaking through at any time. As long as he received the right guidance, he would definitely be able to break through the bottleneck. From the moment Nangong-yi made his move, Chu Tian decided to help him. Yi Tianlang felt strange. Who is he? Nangong Hai smiled and said, Prince Tianlang specially came to South Sky City to find Chu Tian. Now that he is standing in front of you, you actually don't recognize him. This was Chu Tian. He truly had a peerless elegance. Yi Tianlang's eyes turned cold and cruel. You still dare to stand out after seeing me. I can't help but admire your courage, but let's end it here. Not to mention that Nangong Yi could not break through. Even if he did, he was heavily injured. Even if he was at the fourth awakened soul layer, he could not stop him. Not to mention there was still Nangong Hai beside him. Today, no one could protect Chu Tian. Chapter 102. Nangong Yi seemed to have fallen into an unprecedented state. It was as if he had understood something, but he couldn't grasp it. Each of Chu Tian's words entered his ears like thunder from the 9 heavens, fiercely attacking his soul. His originally exhausted aura was slowly being restored. Moreover, it was quickly becoming stronger. Nangong Hai's expression changed. How could there be such a monstrous person in this world? Could it be that a few words could make someone break through? Yi Tianlang was also stunned. This scene was simply a miracle. Nangong Yi's aura became stronger and stronger, like a giant volcano slowly awakening. He slowly stood up and said word for word, Nangong Hai, you've won over a small clan for the small benefits in front of you. You've killed a hero, trampled on your own clan, and disregarded your family's dignity. You are not worthy of being the Phoenix's successor. Nangong Yi's aura became stronger and stronger, as if it was endlessly increasing. A vigorous heat wave was released. That strong aura made Nangong Hai take half a step back. At this moment, Nangong Yi seemed to have turned into a terrifying doomsday volcano. The doomsday flames from hell had been brewing for tens of thousands of years. Once it erupted, the heavens and earth would be destroyed and all living things would be exterminated. Roar! Nangong Yi gave a loud roar into the sky. The red flames soared into the sky and the vigorous aura pierced through the clouds, scattering the clouds above him. The surrounding several miles were covered in a wild energy that was violently trembling. Power! This was power. Nangong Yi was like Nangong Hai and Yi Tianlang. Even if he didn't summon his source spirit, he could still release a strong aura to suppress his enemies. This was a sign of the illustrious soul realm. This meant that in this short moment, Nangong Yi had already broken through the early awakened soul realm's void soul realm and reached the intermediate awakened soul realm's illustrious soul realm. He was already a strong cultivator at the fourth awakened soul layer. From this moment on, Nangong Yi was no longer a senior deacon of the Nangong family. He already had the qualifications to become an elder. From now on, he was on the same level as Nangong Hai. Nangong Hai's face was full of shock. He actually broke through. Nangong Yi laughed heartily, then turned to Chu Tian and cupped his fists. I will never forget the kindness of your guidance. Chu Tian smiled. You have already reached the opportunity to break through. What I did was nothing more than lifting a finger. Don't mention it. Another wave of ferocious berserk beast chi gushed out. So what if I broke through? Yi Tianlang roared furiously, die. He dashed forward with instant step. He punched out. Nangong Yi tilted his body slightly and avoided the lightning-fast punch by a millimeter. This made Yi Tianlang's pupils shrink slightly. Hyperfocus. That's right. Not only had Nangong Yi achieved a breakthrough, but he had also comprehended the profound meaning of minute subtlety. Scram! Nangong Yi gave a roar and the power of the volcano was released. Yi Tianlang was sent flying. He flipped several dozen times in the air before the power dissipated and he landed on the ground. At this time, Nangong Yi clenched his fists. His body was covered in flames and his spirit energy was at its peak. When his cultivation reached the fourth awakened soul layer, his strength could even defeat a fifth awakened soul layer expert. This was the power of the volcano source spirit. Didn't Prince Tianlang want to experience the might of the volcano source spirit? Nangong looked at Yi Tianlang with a cold smile. Today, I'll let you experience it to your heart's content. Yi Tianlang's monstrous face could no longer remain calm. The volcano source spirit is at its peak. This attack is enough to kill a fifth awakened soul layer cultivator. We must work together to block it. Nangong Hai nodded. All right. Nangong gathered the volcano source spirit energy into his fist and released it at the two of them. A vast and mighty power surged out. Yi Tianlang and Nangong Hai worked together to block it. Half the houses on the street were heavily damaged. All the glass within 5 kilometers shattered. It was like a terrifying explosion. Nangong Hai and Yi Tianlang's clothes were burnt black and their faces were covered in dust. They looked very embarrassed. But the lucky thing was that they had blocked Nangong Yi's attack. Nangong Yi's face turned pale. His body swayed and he spat out a mouthful of blood. No. His injuries were too heavy. Adding in the fact that he had just broken through, his realm was not stable. In this kind of situation, he could not fight anymore. Nangong Hai revealed a look of jealousy. Nangong Yi was born in a branch of the Nangong family. He did not have many resources since he was young, but he had awakened a powerful volcano source spirit. Moreover, he had a daughter who had the potential to condense a god-level source spirit. Because of the father and daughter's great potential, staying in Imperial City would destroy the family's benefits, so the family sent Nangong Yi to a small city to be the mayor. Who would have thought that in this kind of barren place? Nangong Yi had actually grown up. He was only 39 years old. He was already an illustrious soul realm expert. Chu Tian clapped his hands and calmly walked forward. He could see that Nangong Yi was an arrow at the end of its flight and could not continue fighting. All right, this is enough. This matter started because of me, so I have to personally take care of it. Moreover, you've been in the limelight enough, so it's my turn to perform. Chu Tian did not panic at all. His bright eyes stared at Yi Tianlang. Let me deal with this fellow. What? Chu Tian wanted to personally make a move. Yi Tianlang's monstrous eyes flashed with a cold glow. People have made you sound like a god. I didn't believe them at first, but it seems like it really is the case today. The Chu family is truly blind, actually treating you like an abandoned chess piece. But it's all over. No matter what, I won't let you leave here alive. Chu Tian had to die. He couldn't even take a single breath. Otherwise, even if he was crippled, he would still have a chance to threaten the Ye family. Chu Tian directly walked up. Just a little rat and you want to take me down? Nangong Yi asked in a daze. Are you serious? Chu Tian nodded and said, back off, let's watch the show. Where did Chu Tian's confidence come from? Other than Nangong Yi, Yi Tianlang did not place anyone else in his eyes. Even if it was Nangong Yi, Yi Tianlang would not necessarily lose. After all, he was also a super genius. You don't even have an awakened soul realm cultivation, killing you is as easy as turning my hand. I agree with this point. Chu Tian gently snapped his fingers. However, I want to introduce my guards to you first. Come, little ones, greet young Master Yi. 18 black-robed people slowly walked out. Yi Tianlang used his wolf instincts and instantly felt that among the 18 black-robed people, even the weakest one had a cultivation base at the second awakened soul layer. How could Chu Tian have this many experts by his side? This was completely illogical. Yi Tianlang was still disdainful. What a joke. You think you can beat me with numbers? You're too naive. Not to mention a trivial 18, even if there were 38, I would still kill my way out and take your head. I'll give it a try. Chu Tian gently shook the bell. The 18 corpse soldiers that had been standing like statues, not moving at all, suddenly woke up from their slumber. They all jumped up at the same time and like 18 shadows, they instantly surrounded Yi Tianlang. Yi Tianlang gave a low roar and suddenly turned into a human wolf. Stepping off the ground, he shot out. His wolf claws ignored the corpse soldiers and directly attacked Chu Tian. However, Yi Tianlang had just moved. 18 ruthless corpse poison palms attacked Yi Tianlang from different positions. Yi Tianlang's heart slightly trembled. He had no choice but to avoid the Yin corpse's attacks. The 18 Yin corpses retreated as soon as they came in contact. They scattered around Yi Tianlang. They moved around each other, taking care of each other. That seemingly chaotic formation actually contained a mysterious meaning. What was going on? Yi Tianlang's sharp senses felt danger. The auras of the 18 mysterious black-robed people completely fused into one. Their movements and steps were very strange, like a single hair moving the whole body. It was like a giant spirit array, suppressing Yi Tianlang in the center, making it impossible for Yi Tianlang to display his full strength. Chu Tian saw Yi Tianlang's serious expression. He immediately laughed and taunted, "What, you don't dare move? I'm just standing here, come and kill me." 18 Dragon Trap Array. This was an offensive and defensive array, filled with mysteries. It required at least 18 awakened soul cultivators to form a battle array. This kind of array was very difficult to practice. Not only did the 18 people have to think it through, they also had to go through a lot of practice. Normally it was an array that the nobles trained their guards to protect their masters. Chu Tian held the soul-controlling bell in his hand and used the bell to control the corpse soldiers. These 18 corpse soldiers did not have any consciousness. They were like 18 chess pieces in Chu Tian's hands, so he could control them at will, forming any battle array. Dang, 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 dang. A burst of crisp bell sounds echoed in his ears. The 18 black shadows moved at high speeds, creating strange phantoms, making Yi Tianlang feel his mind go into a trance, not knowing where to break through. Good chance. Chu Tian seized this moment of opportunity. He immediately controlled the 18 corpse soldiers, combining them in pairs, charging forward at the same time. The corpse poison gathered together, forming a giant corpse poison ball, suddenly covering Yi Tianlang inside. Roar! Yi Tianlang roared out, wanting to break through, but saw a pair of palms blocking in front of him. "You're just like an ant." Scram! Yi Tianlang's palms struck out, 4 palms facing each other, with a hung sound, a cunning and sinister palm strength, like it could topple the mountains and overturn the seas. It made his body feel numb, and he was instantly sent flying. Yi Tianlang revealed a horrified expression. How could a second or third layer fellow send him flying? If the corpse soldiers were alone, it was impossible for them to exchange palms with Yi Tianlang. That attack just now was several dozen of them lined up, gathering their strength into one, instantly sending it to the Yin corpse in front, and then exploding it all at once. Yi Tianlang did not see the situation clearly. Directly meeting the attack, it would be strange if he wasn't heavily injured. Yi Tianlang did not have time to catch his breath. The corpse soldiers all charged forward. Their attacks were like waves, wave after wave, endlessly, endlessly. Yi Tianlang was stretched. He was in a very difficult situation. Prince Tianlang. Such a great reputation. But he doesn't seem to live up to his name. Look at your current appearance. What's the difference between you and a stray dog? Chu Tian used the soul-controlling bell to disturb him, while also using words to provoke him. "I think, you might as well change your name to the stray dog, young master." When had Yi Tianlang ever suffered this kind of humiliation? Anger attacked his heart. Pooh! He spat out a large mouthful of black blood. This is bad, he's been poisoned. Yi Tianlang could not understand no matter how he thought about it. How did things develop like this? With his strength, sweeping across South Sky City, capturing Chu Tian, wasn't this as easy as turning his hand? Now not only did he not capture Chu Tian, he was being pressured step by step by Chu Tian. He had already been seriously injured. There was a risk of defeat at any moment. The citizens of South Sky City were all dumbstruck. Was this scene real? Was this really one of the Central State 4 young masters? Within the Central State area, among the younger generation, one of the four most dazzling geniuses, with a peerless style, stepping on a golden eagle, alone, proudly descending upon South Sky City, defeating the mayor, no one could stop him. Everyone thought that with Prince Tianlang personally descending, in front of this overwhelming strength, Chu Tian would be unable to escape. No one thought that. Chu Tian was not afraid. Even without Nan Gongyi's breakthrough, he still had the ability to deal with Prince Tianlang. Now, as if he was playing around, he easily suppressed Prince Tianlang, letting the 18 bodyguards beat him into a sorry state, like a stray dog. Despicable villain. Using numbers to bully the few, what kind of ability is that? Using numbers to bully the few? Why don't you talk about what kind of conduct your Ye family has? You little brat dared to come alone to kill me, then no matter what, I will not let you leave unscathed. It's decided. Today. Chu Tian was prepared to use his actions to give the Ye family, as well as all the powers in Central State, a fierce blow and lesson. To let them deeply understand a principle. Provoke the King of Hell. Don't provoke Chu Tian. Chapter 103. The 18 corpse soldiers were like shadows, moving in a strange and unpredictable manner. There were thousands of changes at every moment, forming a whole body of strength. Even if Yi Tianlang had an overwhelming strength, he still couldn't find a way to break through them. Now he was trapped alive inside. The Yin corpses were covered in runes as they spat out a large amount of corpse poison at the same time, condensing into a poison ball that shot out at high speed. The 18 poison balls gathered together and suddenly exploded, turning into a giant poison pillar that shot out at Yi Tianlang. A single attack condensed the poison of 18 Yin corpses. Yi Tianlang's palms swept out to block it, but the terrifying strength pushed him back several meters. A large amount of corpse poison seeped into his body, making Yi Tianlang feel a wave of numbness. Despicable. This old man will help you. Nan Gonghai was about to make a move, but a volcanic power gathered under his feet, instantly locking onto Nan Gonghai. Nan Gongyi coldly stared at him. If you take another half step forward, don't blame me for not considering the feelings of the same clan. Nan Gonghai's face turned pale, but he didn't dare make a move. Under the siege of the corpse soldiers, Yi Tianlang's hair was disheveled and his clothes were tattered. Moreover, he had been covered in corpse poison for a long time, he was already deeply poisoned, it was hard for him to continue. There was no other way. He had underestimated the strength of Chu Tian's side. But it didn't matter, he would let this brat live for another 2 days. Once he returned with the Ye family's experts, let's see how arrogant he would be. Just wait for me. This young master will spare your life today. But, don't think it's over. Yi Tianlang angrily released his strength to push back the surrounding corpse soldiers, jumping towards the Golden Peng. The Golden Peng felt its master's call and flew over South Sky City, circling at high speeds, ready to help its master. This vicious beast-like man, after meeting Chu Tian, he had no choice but to return. When the citizens saw this, they were all excited. Central State's 4 young masters. The 4 most dazzling pearls of Central State. Now it seemed like they were only so. Chu Tian's lips curled into a taunting smile. Escape? Do you think you can escape? Chu Tian seemed to be able to predict Yi Tianlang's every move. Yi Tianlang was just about to jump onto the rock's back when 2 corpse soldiers jumped up and grabbed one of Yi Tianlang's legs, pulling him down. Before Yi Tianlang could land on the ground, 2 more people rushed over from the left and right and grabbed his hands, making it impossible for him to move them. At this moment, 4 corpse soldiers leaped into the air and stomped down from above Yi Tianlang. No! Yi Tianlang was stomped into the ground from midair and the surrounding several meters of hard stone ground all caved in. This attack was not light. Even a 4th awakened soul layer expert would be heavily injured. You want to come and go as you please. Chu Tian coldly said, does Tiannan City have your own latrine? Since you've come to kill me with such great fanfare, you should first think about the price you'll have to pay to kill me. The golden eagle gave a long cry and soared into the sky, preparing to leave. Chu Tian looked up. Since this large bird is following your grandson, it must not be a good bird, so you can stay with me. The corpse soldiers soared into the sky and attacked the golden eagle. After several rounds of attacks, the golden eagle gave a pitiful cry and fell into the city, crushing several buildings. It was already on its last breath. Damn! This rock was a rare beast. It had not fully matured yet, otherwise it would be at least in the illustrious soul realm. This was something the Ye family had used all sorts of methods to obtain. It was given to the next family head as a mount and was used as the family's guardian beast. Yi Tianlang's eyes popped out. You dare injure my mount? Injure your mount? Chu Tian walked in front of Yi Tianlang and stepped on his face. I think you should worry about yourself first. You. He didn't even finish. The Yin corpses grabbed onto Yi Tianlang's hands and feet. The other Yin corpses also charged forward, placing their poison palms on Yi Tianlang's body, releasing corpse poison at close range onto Yi Tianlang. No. No. Yi Tianlang felt his body being corroded by the corpse poison. He didn't have any strength left. I am the successor of the Ye family. If you dare touch a single hair of mine, the Ye family will chase you to the ends of the earth. Chu Tian's indifferent and emotionless eyes. It made his heart tremble. Fear. Finally fear. He had already understood. He had provoked a madman. This kind of threat, not only did it not have any use, it would make his situation even worse. He was the dignified Prince Tianlang, infinitely elegant and talented, the successor of the Ye family mercenaries, the future leader of over 100,000 mercenaries. He was the dignified Prince Tianlang, sweeping across Central State, invincible. Other than the super experts of the older generation, only Chu Xinghe and Luo Xianglong could be considered his opponents. He was the dignified Prince Tianlang, respected by tens of thousands of people, feared by tens of thousands of people. No matter where he went, he would receive the highest respect and treatment. No matter what he did, no one dared to say a single word. Now, an unknown Chu Tian had come out of nowhere. With just a dozen subordinates, he had easily defeated him. Enough. Let him go. Nangong Hai's face was dark. Can you withstand the anger of the Ye family? If I let him go now, will the Ye family give up their revenge? Ridiculous. If you keep talking, I'll beat you too. I don't like you at all. You. Nangong Hai retreated 2 steps in fright. If Chu Tian really wanted to make a move against him, could he stop him? He looked at Yi Tianlang's fate and could not help but dispel the thought of standing up for him. Coward, I don't even want to hit you. Chu Tian spat and then lightly snapped his fingers, letting the corpse soldiers carry the paralyzed and unable to move Yi Tianlang. If the Ye family wants revenge, let them come. This stray dog young master, father will accept him. Yi Tianlang shouted in fright, what are you doing? The Ye family's cavalry will flatten Tiannan city. Not only will you die. The people around you, even the entire city will be buried with you. Chu Tian slapped him. Yi Tianlang's face was slap swollen. His eyes were blood red. Shame, incomparable shame. He had never been slapped in the face before. Even Chu Xinghe could not do this to him, but he, Chu Tian, dared to do this. Stray dog young master, don't worry, I won't kill you. You still have a use for it. Chu Tian waved his hand, let's go, I'll take you shopping. How impressive was Prince Tianlang when he arrived. He was the #1 genius that the Ye family had spent countless resources to raise. He was practically the family's successor. Now, not only was he captured alive by Chu Tian, he was also going to be patrolled by Chu Tian. If this matter were to spread, not only would Prince Tianlang's reputation be tarnished, the entire Ye family would be shamed. Did Chu Tian think about the consequences? Of course he thought about it. What was there to be afraid of? Based on what Chu Tian had done, the Ye family would not let him off. They would not rest until he was dead, so he did not mind drawing more hatred. Prince Tianlang had lost all his fighting strength. His hair was disheveled, and he was in a sorry state. He glared at Chu Tian and let out a series of shameful roars. Do you have a lot of self-esteem? Are you very confident in your own strength? Today, I'll let you have a taste of my power. Chu Tian tied Yi Tianlang to a large flag, got his men to find more than 10 loudspeakers, and personally carried Yi Tianlang through the streets. He scolded Yi Tianlang as he walked with the loudspeakers. Yi Tianlang's 18 generations of ancestors were scolded once, not a single word was repeated from beginning to end. Fellow citizens. The influential people of Zhongzhou have gone too far. Prince Tianlang does not have anything to be afraid of. Chu Tian will protect him, so everyone does not need to be afraid. If you have rotten eggs and bricks, then don't hide them, take them out and throw them all. Let these nobles see. We, the common people, are also ambitious. We are not people they can casually trample on. Chu Tian's crazy incitement made the citizens' blood boil. There really were some daring citizens who found rotten eggs and tomatoes to throw at Yi Tianlang. Yi Tianlang was seething with anger. What kind of arrogant person was he? No one in Zhongzhou city dared to disrespect him. But now, commoners dared to use rotten eggs and tomatoes to humiliate him. These commoners had this kind of courage because of their relationship with Chu Tian. As long as Chu Tian was here, there was no problem that could not be solved. This was just the beginning. Since someone took the lead to throw rotten eggs and tomatoes, countless people began to follow. How could they not follow? This was the heavenly wolf young master. A single breath from him could instantly kill dozens of their families. A single strand of hair from his leg was worth 100 times more than the lives of their entire family. This fierce and illustrious heavenly wolf young master, who could even seriously injure the city lord, was now being bullied and humiliated by them. How many chances did this person have in his lifetime? If they did not cherish it, they would have wasted their lives. Everyone move out of the way. A butcher-dressed man charged out of the crowd and threw a giant basin at Yi Tianlang's head. In that instant, urine and feces flowed and the stench filled the air. Prince Tianlang almost fainted from the disgust. This is my family's half a year's worth of savings, now it's all yours. The muscles on the butcher's face twitched as he laughed maniacally. Surnamed Yi, my son died in your hands all those years ago. Now the tables have turned, the heavens have opened their eyes, the heavens have opened their eyes. Everyone became even crazier. The entire street was completely surrounded. Rotten eggs, rotten tomatoes, vegetable leaves, stones, urine and feces were everywhere. Weren't you very arrogant? Didn't you view the lives of commoners as worthless? Didn't you like to bully the weak and trample on others? Now I'll let you have a taste of your dignity being trampled on. There was only one sentence to describe it. The entire city had gone crazy. Probably because they were infected by Chu Tian's demeanor, their courage increased by countless times. Those who had grudges would take revenge, those who had no grudges would join in the fun. Yi Tianlang's entire body stank. Feces, urine, rotten eggs, rotten tomatoes, they were practically all over his body. His white robe had long been soaked to the point of incomparable stench. He was simply about to collapse. They were almost done patrolling the streets. Chu Tian threw Yi Tianlang to the person beside him. Go, tie this guy up to the city wall. I want everyone who enters and exits the city to see the heroic bearing of our stray dog young master. Ruthless. So ruthless. It was better to provoke the king of hell than to provoke brother Tian. Chu Tian, Chu Tian. Xiong Tianyan ran in front of Chu Tian. What should we do with the eagle that Yi Tianlang left behind? Do you still need to ask? Chu Tian licked his lips. Someone, drag it to the plaza and bring out the best wine from the hotel. Miracle Commerce will set up a banquet and let the commoners eat good meat and wine. The expenses will be paid by Miracle Commerce. It's my treat. Ha ha ha. Awesome. Awesome. Xiong Tianyan turned his head and shouted, "Did you hear that? Chu Tian is treating everyone to wine and meat. Long live Chu Tian. Long live Chu Tian. Long live Chu Tian." Everyone started cheering. When Yi Tianlang saw this, his vision turned black and he fainted on the spot. Chapter 104. Chu Tian stabbed the golden-winged Peng's neck with his sword, drawing out its blood, plucking out its feathers, and removing its skin and bones. The several dozen-ton giant Peng was cut into 8 pieces. Under Chu Tian's guidance, Zhang Liqing and the other symbol masters completed an incomparably large barbecue source energy array in the South Sky City Square. Large pieces of meat were skewered together, covered in a layer of fragrant beast oil, and then roasted with the source energy array. When the meat was roasted until it was red with oil, an alluring fragrance filled the square. Everyone who smelled it couldn't help but drool. Level 2 Demon Beast Meat. Not only was it precious, it was also very nutritious. Everyone cut the meat into small pieces and added salt, pepper, and other seasonings. Large plates were brought out, allowing the citizens to taste and enjoy it for free. Along with a barrel of cold beer, it was truly an incomparably large open-air barbecue feast. This was a rare beast that was worth several million gold coins. This was a demon beast that had the potential to become an illustrious soul realm expert. Chu Tian treated it like a normal beast and slaughtered it to roast. The golden-winged Peng's flesh contained a very strong energy. It was enough to strengthen one's body, improve one's physique, and even increase one's cultivation base. A normal person would never be able to eat it in their lifetime. Now it was free for everyone to enjoy. Where else could they find this kind of good thing? Of course, because the golden-winged Peng's energy was too strong, a normal person would feel their body heat up after eating a small bite. They would not dare eat any more and normal body refinement cultivators would find it hard to bear. A roasted great Peng, everyone present could taste it. Chu Tian sat on a large piece of bone. His left hand was holding a large piece of meat and his right hand was holding a large jar of wine. Eating large mouthfuls of meat and drinking large mouthfuls, it was very satisfying. The little fox was holding a large piece of meat that weighed several 100 pounds. It was taking large bites and eating it with relish. Perhaps the meat it swallowed was 10 times the size of its body. I feel like this meat is too old. Is it old? Meng Yingying was holding a long iron skewer that had 5-6 fist-sized pieces of wing meat on it. Her cheeks were bulging as she chewed and said, "I think it's very tasty. It's much better than the level 1 demon beast meat in our restaurant." The little fox was very much in favor of this. Meng Yingying's biggest regret was not being able to see Chu Tian teach that stray young master a lesson. When Meng Yingying heard the news and rushed over, the conflict was already over. Chu Tian tied up the stray dog and was patrolling the streets. This was a famous person. Yi Tianlang had a resounding reputation in Zhongzhou. He was fierce and domineering, and he had never suffered a loss. Furthermore, he was the future heir of the Ye family. Cultivators of this level, a person of such status. Meng Yingying did not even dare to imagine the consequences of angering him. Everyone in the central state knew about the Ye family's conduct. The mercenary family had always been fierce and cruel. If there was a slight conflict, they would exterminate the whole family. As the heir of the family, Yi Tianlang naturally inherited the family's style. However, this idiot was really blind. Was Chu Tian an ordinary person? How could he kill Chu Tian? To end up like this. Serves him right. Meng Yingying felt that Chu Tian's method was too satisfying. Chu Tian did not kill Yi Tianlang, nor did he cripple Yi Tianlang. Instead, he ruthlessly stepped on him and humiliated him in the most brutal way possible. This was very satisfying. Even if Yi Tianlang could survive, he would never be able to shake off this shadow for the rest of his life. What made Meng Yingying admire the most was Chu Tian's frivolous straightforwardness, Chu Tian's unscrupulousness, and Chu Tian's crazed overbearingness. It had infected everyone in South Sky City. Would normal citizens dare to throw rotten eggs at Yi Tianlang? Would normal citizens dare to eat Yi Tianlang's mount? Even if they had 100 guts, they still wouldn't dare. But with Chu Tian's support, the situation was completely different. At this moment, Meng Yingying looked around and saw that everyone was drinking and chatting merrily. Everyone was raising their wine cups, celebrating the big event that had happened today. Actually, everyone had a grand and ambitious dream in their hearts. Who didn't want to ride the wind and break the waves? Who didn't want to gallop to the ends of the earth? Who was willing to live a mediocre life? These childish dreams, as they grew older, were gradually beaten back by reality. The things that they once worshipped, obsessed with, and yearned for, seemed to have vanished into thin air. In reality, it was just hiding in the depths of their hearts, protected by a stubborn wall, no longer being attacked by the cruel reality. This was a fantasy paradise, an ideal kingdom. Magnificent, absurd, strange, but full of vitality. In the middle of the night, it would occasionally make people feel touched and sad. These things could never be erased, it was just that people were not willing to easily touch them. Did they lose the key to the door? Or did they lose the courage to enter? In short, Chu Tian's sudden appearance, South Sky City's people had witnessed his rise. It was a reflection of the people's most primal desire, the craziest cry. Even a small character could beat Yi Tianlang. Even the lowly could counterattack and rise. How many times could they experience this kind of scene in their lives? As long as one was hot-blooded, they would cheer for all of this. The Ye family would definitely come back. But no matter what kind of storm or thunder they would face tomorrow, tonight would be a joyous night of drinking and chatting to one's heart's content. It would not be in vain. Meng Yingying's bright eyes were like a calm lake, filled with a trace of a smile. Chu Tian had given her a pleasant surprise. He had given South Sky City a pleasant surprise. Meng Qinggu was not as relaxed. Although she already knew that Chu Tian was crazy, today's madness was a bit too much. This was clearly a humiliation to the Ye family. The Ye family would definitely counterattack like crazy. Did Chu Tian really have the ability to deal with this? Meng Qinggu wanted to find a way to mediate, but it was impossible. This time, no matter how much pressure the Nangong family put on, the Ye family would not swallow it. Otherwise, how could they survive in Central State? Young miss, please don't frown like a bitter melon. Chu Tian heartlessly walked over, right now is the time to be happy. Meng Qinggu stared at him, of course you're happy. Have you thought of how to deal with Yi Wudao's anger? It was fine if he liked to cause trouble. Every time he would cause a storm in the city. Who is Yi Wudao? Chu Tian was stunned, then he waved his hand, forget it, who cares who he is? Yingying, come here. Meng Yingying ran over. Because she had eaten too much demon beast meat, her cheeks were red and her body was hot, but she was filled with energy. Chu Tian nodded. Being in this state was good for breaking through. Chu Tian pulled back the little fox that hadn't eaten enough. He took out 2 white jade pill bottles from his chest and gave one to Yingying and the young miss. Inside the translucent white jade bottle, there was a purple pill. Even through the jade bottle, Meng Qinggu could still feel the vigorous energy coming from the pill. This is the awakened soul pill. Chu Tian's playful expression gradually disappeared and his expression became serious. I just found Xiong Tianyan and Zhang Liqing and the 3 of us worked together to refine it. Each person only has 1 pill and they only have 1 chance. Meng Qingwu's body trembled. How did he manage to refine it so quickly? Meng Yingying curiously said, can this pill turn us into awakened soul cultivators? The awakened soul pill is the best pill to break through the bottleneck of the body refinement realm. My pill is made with a unique formula. As long as someone at the peak 9th body refinement layer takes it, they will have an 80% chance of breaking through. Chu Tian said to the two of them, but considering that you have just stepped into the peak 9th body refinement layer, I will refine a few more pills for you. This way the success rate will be above 90%. Such a high probability. It was really hard to imagine. If there were extra awakened soul pills, one pill could be sold for 5 to 8 million gold coins. This matter cannot be delayed. Let's start now. We must break through immediately. When the Ye family found out about what happened in South Sky City, they would definitely rush over like mad dogs. If Chu Tian could break through to the awakened soul realm, he would have more confidence. If the three of them had the strength of the awakened soul realm, even if they encountered the worst-case scenario, they would at least have the ability to protect themselves. So they had to break through before the Ye family arrived. The three of them went into closed-door cultivation. Before Chu Tian entered the room, he first placed the little fox at the door. He took out a corpse core for it and patted its head. This time's closed-door cultivation is very important, don't let anyone disturb me. The little fox used its claw to make a no-problem gesture. It used its claw to draw a few symbols at the door. A small restriction array was formed. Little fellow, you actually have a bit of skill. The little fox revealed a disdainful expression and impatiently waved its claw. Hurry up, don't waste this fox's time. This fellow really deserved a beating. Chu Tian sat down cross-legged in the room and began to adjust himself to the best cultivation state, allowing his mind to enter a state of emptiness. The purple awakened soul pill was like a beautiful gem, there were patterns on the surface. A strong energy fluctuation was emitted from the awakened soul pill. He had finally arrived at this step. It had been 2 months. A bit long. But this small country was poor in resources, so this speed was not too slow. Chu Tian firmly believed that since he had once stood at the peak, he could return to the peak. He could even break through the limit and step into a more magnificent world. The awakened soul realm was a very amazing person in South Sky City. If the body refinement realm was the foundation stage, then the awakened soul realm was the beginning of cultivation. Only from the awakened soul realm could one be considered a true cultivator. This was just the beginning. The Ye family would soon return and this time it would be a big one. Honestly speaking, whether or not he could block the Ye family's counterattack, Chu Tian did not have much confidence. Even if he took Yi Tianlang as a hostage, he could only do it alone. Chu Tian did not regret it, even if he had to go back, Chu Tian would still stick to his choices. Beat Yi Feng, destroy the Han family, kill Yi Han, kill Yi Xiong, and beat Yi Tianlang. Wasn't it just a small Ye family? If you really have the ability, then come at me. Chu Tian swallowed the awakened soul pill and closed his eyes. His spirit energy suddenly surged out like a white flame, suddenly wrapping around his body. A faint pressure came from the top of his head, as if it wanted to pierce through the clouds. The night sky of South Sky City was covered by an ancient and powerful aura. This was like a great demon god from ancient times. He had slept for too long and it was time for him to wake up. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.